the pitcher, Chris Young. Tony Gwynn, indeed, has had his best hitting away from Petco right here at Chase Field.
And Bud Black hoping that the Padres will rebound tonight. Bud Black is the eternal optimist. He's, one of these guys that can wipe the slate clean and go get him tomorrow. It's not like football, Dick, where you have to wait a whole week. Another day is upon us.
The Arizona Diamondbacks take their diamond, getting ready to go against the San Diego Padres with Adam LaRoche at first base, newest member of these Diamondbacks, along with some of his mates. Visiting skipper Bud Black started 3 opening days, he told us yesterday, as a pitcher. In the big leagues, of course, pitching coach under the watchful eye of Mike Scioscia with the Angels in his 4th season as the manager of the Padres. Let's take a look at his lineup. Tony Gwynn, Jerry Hairston Jr., the veteran, gets to start today. Adrian Gonzalez homered yesterday. Kyle Blanks did as well. It's Chase Headley, Will Venable, college basketball and baseball. Nick Hundley, Arizona, behind the plate. Everett Cabrera at short. And Chris Young, the pitcher, 6 feet 10 inches tall, is on the mound. He's 26 years old. He was born in West Germany as his dad traveled the world representing our country, protecting our country in the United States Army. His name is Edwin Jackson. His number's delivered by the UPS store.
Edwin Jackson, a guy that pitched very well in the American League. Now he comes over to the National League where he doesn't have to face that extra hitter or two. So I would imagine Edwin going to feel right at home, and I think the Diamondbacks are lucky to have him, Darren Sutton.
The Diamondbacks defensively with Connor Jackson in left, Chris Young in center, Justin Upton in right. Mark Reynolds is at third, a fine job yesterday. Drew, Kelly Johnson, Adam LaRoche on the right side. Edwin Jackson pitches to Miguel Montero. Edwin last year in the American League with the Detroit Tigers, 214 innings of work. He has gotten better as a starting pitcher each and every year. You look at the numbers, it's crystal clear that he has grown every year. Of course, 2 seasons ago was with the Tampa Bay Rays pitching in their starting rotation. But his 4th year as a starting pitcher full-time in the major leagues gets underway, and it does so at 94 miles an hour. It's strike 1 to Tony Gwynn.
He believes in that fastball, folks. You'll see a lot of them, especially early in the game. He's kind of a throwback when it comes to the fastball. He likes to establish it for a couple innings, then go to the off-speed.
Gwynn drops down a bunt, and it's a good one. Jackson barehanded, firing. LaRoche is there to dig it out. Adam LaRoche, one of the best in baseball a season ago in bailing out his fellow infielders. Now, in this case, his fellow infielder was a pitcher.
Oh, great play on both ends. Athletic play by Jackson with the bare hand. And then somehow Adam LaRoche coming up with the great pickup to just edge out a streaking Tony Gwynn Jr. What a play.
Adams' range puts him about in the middle of the pack amongst all first basemen in the game, but what he does do is what we just saw. And he does it amongst the best in the game. If a throw is in the dirt, and there are all types, as Gracie will educate us throughout the season as he has done before, but when it's in the dirt, a minimum of 100 times, he is amongst the best. You see Helton, LaRoche, Albert Pujols bailing out the other infielders.
That's always a confidence builder for your other infielders as well, knowing they can get it over there, and if it's in the dirt, it's still going to be an out.
And as you pointed out yesterday, 1-1 the count to Jerry Hairston Jr. There are all types. I mean, there are ones that are easy.
Hops, very, inch-long hops or whatever, but that one right there was legit, and that was a great pickup by the first baseman.
You got to think Mark Reynolds enjoyed seeing that from his mate. He saw it this spring as well. Mark had a nice day, though, yesterday defensively. Kept the feet moving. Diamondbacks solid defense, solid offense. We hope you can bottle that up and do it every night. Hairston, a longtime utility player in Major League Baseball, 2 years ago really had an offensive explosion. In 08 in Cincinnati, in 80 games, he hit .326. Spent last year between Cincinnati and then finished it with the New York Yankees and played on a world championship club in the Bronx. Been at it for a long, long time. In on his hands. Boy, that late life Mark Reynolds, never shy over by the railing. He is there to make the play for the out. Again, that backs up what you said about believing in his fastball. He went 3-1, here I come.
Here I come, and I'm going to run it right in on your knuckles. You know you've got a good fastball when you can jam somebody that badly with a 3-1 pitch. You can see Jerry Hairston saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe that ball got on me so quickly. Same rule of thumb as last night, Darren. You're seeing it from Edwin Jackson so far. Retire the fellas in front of this man, Adrian Gonzalez. Straight to the script. Stay with it. Make this man hit with the bases empty, and you've got a chance to handcuff the Padres.
He did hit with the bases empty late in the ball game yesterday, and he homered. He also doubled. That fastball touches 97, 0-1.
Yeah.
This is yesterday against Bobby Howard. And Gracie, that's what he does so well. Let it travel deep into that stance and smoke it the other way. But you're right. Aptly describing the last fastball as gas, 97 again.
Yeah, you think Edwin Jackson knows who's in the batter's box? He was hanging around 94. 93, went to 96, and all. Oh, Adrian Gonzalez. Here, let me introduce myself. I've been in the American League for the last few years. Here's some 97 to jump to 0-2.
He has not faced Edwin, that is, anyone in this Padres lineup, as that one bounces in there, except for one gentleman, and just one time. It was Adrian Gonzalez, just one time in the interleague game a couple of years ago. Adrian homered against him.
Oh, really?
Something tells me he remembers that one time.
I have a feeling you're right, because he ramped it up a few extra notches.
And when he was a Ray a few years back, the Padres lit him up in Tampa.
Gas
the ball. He blew him away at 98 miles an hour. Edwin Jackson, welcome to downtown Phoenix, Arizona. So far, we really like what we see.
On strikes. He's a tough customer. He had a good spring, so Bud Black put him in the 2 slot. That's kind of where Chris Young is comfortable in the Padre rotation. He's a guy that doesn't start on opening day, but this is his 4th now. 2nd day start, I guess you could say, for the Padres.
Used to work behind, as you can see, his pitch mix, fastball a majority of the time. It's not overpowering. Not overpowering at all, as that one is popped up to the right side. Losing the mask is Hundley. Gonzalez is over. He makes the play for the out. He gets a lot of his outs in the air, as you can see. And a moment ago, when you saw the velocity, about 86 miles an hour is his average fastball. Blanks, Gwynn, and Venable The question marks defensively are with Headley and Cabrera on the infield. Cabrera with an error yesterday. Chris Young and Nick Hudley. But the big fella, Kyle Blanks, out there and left, about 270 pounds of him pounding that turf out there. He homered yesterday. That's a high strike to Stephen Drew, and he got to know this ballpark, Mr. Blanks, as well. As anytime a ball heads to center field up and around those overhangs and balconies, you better help out your center fielder. And he was maybe a day late and about 2 bases short because of it. Stephen with an inside the park home.
You don't expect many balls that go into right center field to come back to your side of the ballpark, but it can happen here at Chase Field with the overhangs out there.
Stephen yesterday was 2 for 4, that inside the park home run in the 4th inning.
Right in that area there.
I was talking to Tony Gwynn. He said, I could throw a ball up there 20 times and not have that result. Throw it right at it and not have the result that we have as our jack in the box. Think outside of the box. Let's watch Stephen Drew run, Gracie. I think that's the key.
Running hard the whole way. And look at the carom all the way into left center field. And Blanks is like, uh-oh, I got caught napping. Meanwhile, Stephen Drew scampered all the way around.
2-2 off speed, backed off on him there. Young played college basketball and baseball at Princeton.
Smart guy.
Very smart guy, as did the right fielder, Will Venable.
It's not like baseball players to be that smart.
6 feet 10 inches tall. Bouncing ball on a backhand. Headley bobbles, recovers. Drew going hard. He's safe. Stephen rewarded for going the other way. And again, Cabrera and Headley will be question marks.
Well, how about being rewarded for busting it down the line? It just looked like Headley had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. He makes a nice backhand stop. Then all of a sudden, whoop, hey, well. Next thing you know, Stephen Drew busting it all the way, beats the throw. And now, start the engines on the running game, I would imagine, Darren Sutton.
Yeah, that's funny you would mention that, because as soon as the base runner was on, we had to explain to you that this is one of the easiest pitchers with regard to numbers to run against in Major League Baseball. In his career, 137 attempts, 13 caught stealing. When he is on the mound, only 9% of base runners have been thrown out. For sake of discussion, 28% is league average, and that even tells the story better. 77 of the last 79 have been successful. Fly ball right field on a high fastball up and away. 85 at the belt. Upton is erased.
Yeah, that'll be a disappointing at bat right there from Justin Upton. There's a term in baseball, and it's called you get yourself out, and that's the situation right there. That's a pitch where that pitch is up and away, not even close to the strike zone, and Justin was just over anxious. He just slapped at it the other way and made an easy out.
By the way, Stephen Drew reached a moment ago on an error was the official decision by the score. And Mr. Headley will tell you that's a play I should have made. He had it. He was there. Here's Adam LaRoche. Adam saying before the game today, I could have 50 opening days. No one ever plays that long, but I could have 50, and on the 51st, I'd still be nervous. He said he was nervous as could be yesterday.
I wholeheartedly agree with him. That's a new stadium, a new city, a new team.
2-0 the count.
Yesterday, the Diamondbacks cashed in on a couple of Padre miscues. They scored 4 unearned runs yesterday of the 6. Let's see if Adam LaRoche can make these Padres pay for another miscue here in the first.
30 years old, born in Southern California, but grew up in the Midwest in Kansas. Another out in the air if the Padres get together. Wynn racing in, he calls everybody off. When he's right, it's up in the air. So far, he's right.
challenge right out of the gate, the big fella Adrian Gonzalez. Back-to-back fastballs. Now the slider to slow him down and then right back upstairs. I mean, blew his doors off. That is a great sequence on a great hitter by Edwin Jackson.
And fun to watch. We talked about the adrenaline that may have been flowing from the one time they met up back in 2007. As he goes to work against Kyle Blanks, the pitch is high. 1-0 the count to the big slugger.
Edwin's got a classic delivery, doesn't he, Darren? As a former pitcher, you got to love these mechanics.
An occasional two-seamer, that was it. I mean, rarely he'll throw a ball that dives down and in. And to answer your question, yes, he does. Both he and Ian Kennedy, watch this right here, folks. The old-fashioned hands over the head, which keeps you over the rubber as that one runs in. A lot of pitchers now just keep that hand and glove out front of the body. That's I guess you'd say old school, you know.
Did you have the classic wind up like that?
No, but
you kept it out in front of your face more?
There was a guy that put a lot of bread on my table that went over his head like that.
Did.
Slider, it's fouled off.
Edwin knew he hung that one. He's happy to give a baseball back. Right over the top of the head, just like your old man. I think he'd love to have a career like your old man did. Yeah, he knew he got away with that one. You could tell from the body language.
Fastball high and inside, 2-2 the count. You know how we work on this show. We love talking about pitching. Now, Gracie makes sure we don't always talk about pitchers. But guys that do their job like Dan Herron and now Edwin Jackson, that slider's high, overthrew that one a bit. Make good television, simply put. Danny made good television yesterday. I mean, he was fun to watch. He had the Padres still talking about him today. That's when you know you've done your job. One run allowed. He was dynamic. Broke his bat with the slider. Stephen Drew gobbles, fires. LaRoche is there to make the play, and Blanks is erased.
How about a 3-2 slider right there after a lot of fastballs to get to 3-2? Yeah, I'm only in my mid-20s, but I showed a little veteran move right there on Blanks.
You talk about the pitch breakdown and exactly what he throws. That fastball will average, when right, 95 miles an hour. He throws it a lot. Threw a little bit less last year, though, than usual, as that fastball is high. I think it's a product of the American League, too, when you drop the fastball usage a little bit and up the slider usage. That says American League to me.
Oh, baby. Oh, he just missed that one. That was a pretty good slider. I thought it was in the back door, but he missed with it. 1-1. You tell me, Darren. I guess that's outside. That's awful close.
The 1-1 pitch went right back to it. Grabs the outside corner. Similar spot to Chase Headley. 25 years old, Headley, out of Colorado. Fountain Fort Carson High School. Then he went to the University of Tennessee. Padres made him a draft selection. Fastball is high, 2-2.
He went to 97 with that fastball.
Right in the heart of the order here, being wrapped up by Headley, Gonzalez, Blanks, and Headley. That one is on the ground, and it's a base hit. First hit of the game, and so really it's been the heart of the order for this club. 6 hits provided in these first 2 games by the likes of Gonzalez, Blanks, and Headley. When you talk about the rest of the team, 0 for 22.
Pretty good hitting right there. Just pulled his hands in, swatted it right by the glove hand of Edwin Jackson, and just back up the middle. Chase Headley's turned himself into a pretty good offensive player, Darren.
I would agree. That's why they opted to make the move. They felt like with Kevin Kuzminoff, they could make the move of Kuzminoff, who is now with Oakland, and let Headley go to work at third, and he certainly was improved last year offensively. He picked off 4 last year in Detroit. He's an athlete. And because he's an athlete, he's got quick feet, and he'll get you. He has picked off 11 in his career.
That was real close. Oh, Tony Randazzo, first base umpire, right there on the call. Makes me wonder if Adam LaRoche may have missed the tag. No, he didn't miss the tag. No argument from LaRoche. Adam Tom doesn't seem the kind of guy that's going to say much to an umpire.
I would agree with that. Pretty understated. I would imagine when he does say something, as understated as he can be, because there's a fire within him, that it gets going pretty good. I actually look forward to that. That one is fouled off.
That's the first changeup of the game from Edwin Jackson. When your changeup's 86 miles an hour, you got a pretty good arm, Darren.
That means you throw hard. According to his pitching coach, throws it in a 100-pitch game about 8 times. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. told us today. Well, doing a good job sitting with us today, and you'll hear it should the bullpen gates open, giving us the very latest on all of the pitchers down in his bullpen.
I always enjoy spending at least 15 minutes or so with Mel Stottlemyre Jr. And all you have to do is ask him one question. Oh, baby, look at that slider right on the back foot of Venable. It's about as good as you can execute it right there.
Stott was sharing with us about one of his pitchers who will go unnamed, that he does work on a 4th pitch that he'd love for him to just stick in his pocket. Keep it back there. Oh my goodness. Another slider and a nasty one. The bottom falls right out of it.
That's unfair to do to a batter right there. Back-to-back sliders, right on the back foot, back-to-back swings and misses from Venable. That's impressive. Is that where Stott said for him to stick that pitch was in his back pocket?
Something like that as Nick Hundley gets ready to hit. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout yesterday. Pitchers are guilty of that. They'll have 2 really good pitches. They'll have a really gifted arm. We're not speaking of the starting pitcher, by the way. But they'll think, I might need just one more. Just one more pitch. I'll really work on it.
Yeah, you throw 95 miles an hour, you have a terrific slider, and all of a sudden you want to add a split finger. No, you don't need it.
That slider dives away. 1-0 the count. Glad to have a lot of folks making their way in tonight, having fun here at Chase Field. A great night for a ball game. Roof is open. People comfortable in good seats. Boy, is that nasty.
All you guys that came out for opening night, thank you for coming. If you're watching at home, we thank you as well.
Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night or over the weekend with this club. If you don't join us at the ballpark over the weekend, we have an interesting mix on television. The 1-1. Slider, chopped, is not going to be easy. Mark Reynolds dying in front of him. Tried to barehand it, and reaching safely on an infield hit is Nick Hundley.
Not much you can do there if you're Edwin Jackson and or Mark Reynolds. That'll go as a base hit. Really not much of a play. Even if he comes up with it cleanly, I don't think Reynolds is going to be able to get it across the diamond in time. So an infield hit.
Shortstop number 1, Everett Cabrera.
And that'll give Everett Cabrera an opportunity here with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. You can see Reynolds did the best he could, but I don't think there was anything there.
Everett Cabrera out of Nicaragua, 23 years young, 160 stolen bases in the minor leagues. His speed is what got him here. And then last year when he had the opportunity, he reached plenty, an on-base percentage of .342. Reynolds has to cheat in a bit. The outfield shallow, almost playing him like a pitcher as the fastball is a strike. 0-1 the count. Gerardo Parra coming over saying, now, why are we playing so shallow here? Well, Bo Porter explained the situation. Look at utility. Utility player Rusty Ryle listening as well. The outfielders were out working today. And those that want to be outfielders that are out, they were out working as well. Lifted into that gap in the left center field. We said they were shallow, and look where he hits it, off the wall. Wouldn't have made a difference, though. 1 run is in. To the cutoff man. Drew to the plate. It's cut off. And going the other way, the little slap hitter, and I say that respectfully, just hit a screamer off the wall.
There wasn't anything slapped about that one. That ball was smoked. A fastball tails right out to the middle of the plate. Cabrera drills it off the middle of the wall. And just like that, the Padres do a little 2-out damage to the Diamondbacks.
So San Diego leads it 2-0. The 8-hole hitter, Everth Cabrera. Edwin Jackson went pitching in the American League for all those years. Whenever the 8-hole hitter was hitting, there was never a Chris Young waiting on deck. There was another hitter. In this case, Chris Young was waiting. He went after Cabrera with a couple of runners on, certainly. And Cabrera made him pay. I was talking with Dan Herron about that before the game. Remember, Danny coming over from Oakland, even though he started his career in St. Louis. Herron saying there was a point in a lineup where you just felt like becoming a National Leaguer, you could start to get excited. All right, I'm at the 7-8. Now I have the pitcher coming. Maybe I can make decisions based upon that. Oh, 0-2 the count.
That looked to be an angry fastball there, Darren. 96 miles an hour to the pitcher. One more of those ought to do it.
And then it's time to go to hitting.
Yeah, Diamondbacks trail for the first time this year.
I didn't think it would happen. Strike 3, an angry strikeout. Everth Cabrera. They had it played shallow, little slap hitter. Knocked the wall down. Won't burn up your wallet. And buy Blimpie, America's sub shop. Such decisions to make, and you know when it's that time of year, you have to get gear. This is one of my favorite spots to stop. I like to get kind of the softer cap, Gracie. I don't like the game-ready cap. I know you like the game-ready cap because you earned the right to. You played in the big leagues. But we were talking about jerseys and T-shirts we would want yesterday. You were mentioning the Stephen Drew
Stephen Drew, yeah. Because he hit it inside the park homer, and I'm a front runner.
I'm just saying. Good gear. D-backs, good gear, very good stuff. That's one of the things you do when you visit any place. That's interesting there. I've never seen baseballs look like that. There we go. Now that's
the one you like, huh?
That's a homemade lid there.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
I'm thinking more corn dog than I am the hat right now.
Really? All right. Mark Reynolds to lead things off. Mark homered yesterday to start off his season in style. He was 1 for 2. 2-run homer in the third inning. And then the other side note, but certainly worth mentioning, is he walked twice. Hot shot. Did he play it on a hop? No. He got it off the dirt. Line drive out. Headley is there, so Reynolds is erased. Every out so far is in the air. Good friends and sponsors with Amica present the hit zone. For each hit the Diamondbacks get from now through the end of the season, Amica will donate $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix. And you talk about Miguel Montero, make a mistake up and away, he will turn it into a mistake. Usually when it's up and away like that, that means it's hit the other way. And down and in, that's kind of the hot zone for every left-handed hitter, as that one misses high. You are going to have to educate me and the casual fan on how a guy who's 6'10", and you would expect that like Randy Johnson maybe would throw in the mid to high 90s as Montero takes high, yet throws 85, 86, has so much success in the major leagues.
Well, it's his deception. He gives you the elbow first and throws right from his ear. And he likes to pitch up in the zone. Darren, you see most of the strikes he gets are high strikes. He doesn't pitch around the knees. He's not a ground ball guy. And most of the contact made is going to be in the air.
All of the outs to this point in the air.
There's another one.
As we were saying, it's popped up. Headley is there, and he makes the play for the out. As Chris Young strides towards home plate, he does so with all of his outs in the air yesterday, and an 0 for 4, looking to turn the page from 2009 as the Diamondback center fielder.
The more you think about last year, the more you're just going to dwell on it, and the more you're just going to let that bring you down. So the approach I'm taking, you just kind of move forward. You know, that's the only way you can go is forward, and you can't really worry about it. It's happened, and it's past, and this is a whole new year. And really, if I would have had the year I had last year, or if I would have had an all-star year, it really wouldn't make any kind of difference in this year coming up. So that's kind of the approach I'm having, and you know, I plan on going out there and have a great season.
He had a fabulous spring, had a quiet opening day, but you better have a short memory when you have a tough year like that. On the ground, and Chris Young against Chris Young. Well, that man's the winner. 0 for 15 against the big tall fella in his career. I think.
Efficient. The APS Energy Assist of the night. The tip tonight is to replace your incandescent lights with CFLs, saving 75% more energy. And I'm joined now by Graham Rossini, Director of Special Projects for the Diamondbacks. And Graham, here at Chase Field, you're working to become more energy efficient. In what ways?
We are. We use a lot of energy in the ballpark, and our ownership's committed to making some sustainable changes in the ballpark. And we've got big plans for the future, but we're excited about what we've done in recent years, the LED ribbon boards, the new scoreboard. Very energy efficient, uses a third of the energy of our old system, and it's really a marquee feature here in the ballpark.
All in a process to get certified and be as green as you possibly can, right, Graham?
It is. It's a neat opportunity for us to use our ballpark and what we do as a platform to educate fans and help people make some changes in their homes that are more energy efficient, more sustainability across the board.
And there's more coming up at the end of this month. Tell me a little bit more about that.
We do. A great partnership with APS. We've got the APS Green Series coming up April 23rd through the 25th against the Phillies. And APS will be here educating the fans, passing out light bulbs to everybody in attendance. It should be a fun time.
All right. Thanks so much, Graham. Darren Gracie, free light bulbs at the ballpark, guys, end of the month.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And thank you very much. Our partnership with APS. 0-1 the count to Tony Gwynn. 1-1. We talked about that the Padres were still talking about Dan Herron today. It was this man that was in the middle of the conversation. And the one thing that he mentioned, Gracie, is the thing that we are fortunate enough to watch when Danny works, is that he's stubborn. If he misses with a pitch, you might eliminate it as a hitter, as you've taught all of us. He doesn't.
Never. He'll keep throwing it till he gets it right. And it usually doesn't take him very long to get it right.
Tony said at one point Will Venable came up to him in about the 6th inning and said, my goodness, is he stubborn. Well, we've been saying that for a couple of years. How do you lay off of that slider? 2-2 the count.
Pretty doggone good one, wasn't it?
Gwynn has done a fabulous job since coming over and playing full-time for the Padres, and mainly against the Diamondbacks. 21 hits, 333 against Arizona pitching. This bouncing ball is a foul ball. To take it a step further, an on-base percentage, he nearly reaches half the time of 463 against the Diamondbacks. San Diego leads it 2-0. Gwynn was 0 for 4 with the strikeout. Starts the season 0 for 5 as he grounded out in the first. And again, takes a wicked pitch. 3-2.
He's really made Edwin work hard in this at bat. He's laid off some tough pitches. That's frustrating for a pitcher. You execute the pitch you want to just the way you want to, and the hitter just lays off of it. Now you got to throw a strike with a fastball, and he missed with it.
Well, he just put you said it, a great at bat on him there to draw the walk. Don't forget about Family Fridays. Join the D-backs for Family Fridays all season long. $20 gets you a game ticket, $10 in food and merchandise credit, and a ticket to Sea Life Arizona. Plus, this Friday, there's a post-game fireworks show courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Call 602-462-4794 or visit dbacks.com/Friday. The value items there, too, at the ballpark. Look for the green diamond, which indicates a value item. Good stuff there. Right there. You'll find, you'll find a $4 beer if you find that green diamond.
Good luck finding that any other ballpark in the country.
No, you won't.
At least Major League. I know when you go to high school games, you usually look for the beer value.
Oh, no, it's Horizon League games.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. $4.
Long line. Don't blame them.
Here. It's your $4 beer. Slider, 0-2. Sorry, I went into salesman.
Wow, that was impressive.
2-0 the score. Edwin Jackson against Jerry Hairston Jr. Broke in with Baltimore, played for the Cubs. Played for the Texas Rangers. We mentioned the Cincinnati Reds. Scott Hairston's his teammate. The runner's on the move. Montero fires it down. Not in time. That one, with the throw being on the money, Tony Gwynn, a big jump there. Got out, was off to the races, and stole that one on Jackson.
Great jump there from Gwynn, and he can just flat out fly. No chance for Montero. As you can see, the tag is late. Stay with that tag. Stay with that tag. He did, but the toe stayed on the bag.
One and two the count. Hairston steps out. He's Padres were frustrated with their offensive output yesterday. Dan Herron will do it. Randy Reddy, hitting coach here. It's been a bit of a revolving door for Padres hitting coaches. So that one in on the hands and it's fouled off.
Merv Rettenman, Dave Magadan, Wally Joyner, all in the last 3 years.
Spike. They call Randy Reddy. That's exactly right. Reddy had a great quote. He said, "My first thought when I got the call, well, it's a good way to get rid of a guy if you want to promote him to hitting coach." Boy, nice job by Montero. Simple little thing. You put your nose on it. But if you're Edwin Jackson, you have to know you can do this.
That's about as good as you can do it right there if you're Montero.
All spring long, he got there a little bit earlier than his mates and went out on the half diamonds on the other side of the Diamondbacks clubhouse at Tucson Electric Park. He and bullpen coach Glenn Sherlock worked on catching, blocking, and throwing every day. Hot shot out to short. Steven looks, Gwynn back, and Drew fires on in time for the out. So, if that ball isn't blocked up, if they opt not to pull the infield in, that drives in a run.
Without a doubt. And tough luck there for Harrison. Really a nice play by Drew. Didn't get ahead of himself. Didn't try to do the heroic play and get him at second base. Just kept his cool. As you can see, that ball smoked. Just kept his cool. Made an easy toss over to first base.
Adrian Gonzalez had to deal with a handful last time. Big shift, by the way, defensively. They really play him to pull in the infield. There you see it. The outfield plays him the other way. Isn't that interesting? Slider, strike one. The only slider he saw in the first at bat, as you noted, was in the dirt.
Was down in the dirt 0-2. And that was to set up the elevated fastball. This time he starts him with the slider for strike one. I would imagine that means another fastball is coming here. Went with the slider. Montero gloved it cleanly that time.
On his 20th birthday, September 9th, 2003, he was a Dodger. And Edwin Jackson made his major league debut against Randy Johnson here at Chase Field. Won the ball game. Pitched very well in front of nearly 40,000 fans. Names like Finley and Gonzalez in the lineup. He had gotten called up just prior to that from Jacksonville, Florida, Double-A. High fly ball, well struck in the left center field. Young in front of Connor Jackson is there to make the play. Tagging and heading to third is Gwynn, but 2 outs and you keep Adrian in the ballpark.
He is just so doggone strong. He didn't hit that ball all that well, and it went to the middle of the track in left center field. That's just a slider in the middle of the plate. Edwin got away with it that time, but you don't want to make your living against that man throwing that pitch in that location.
Kyle Blanks grounded out on a slider away back in the second inning. Drew very close to Reynolds as they really play him to pull on the infield, the outfield pretty deep. A lot of space on the shortstop side of the bag at second. Slider.
Pitch.
Wow.
What a pitch. Goodness.
Blanks, as we mentioned, homered yesterday. 23 years old. Fastball just missed the inside. It was really a tale of 2 parts last year for Blanks. It was getting to know the big leagues. First 27 games when he hit just 188 and didn't slug at all. Last 27 games, hit 300, hit 13 homers, slugged 650. Back to the screen, 1 and 2. He came after him there.
He came after him. He wanted that ball in. You can see they're trying to crowd Blanks, trying to keep those elbows in close to his body with his swing. You can see once this kid gets extended, as we saw yesterday in the 9th inning, he can hit it a long way. They're trying to crowd him with fastballs and then maybe go down and away with the slider. Let's see what they have for him. 1 and 2. It was the slider. He didn't get it away, though. Let's take a look at what happens when he does get extended. Fastball down and out over the plate. He just crushed it to right center field about 450 feet.
Blanks played college baseball at Yavapai Junior College here in Arizona. Was a draft and follow. That doesn't occur much anymore, if at all. Signed before next year's draft in 04. Fastball high. He didn't chase. Used to be when you were drafted in junior college, then the team that drafted you would have your rights until midnight, just the day before the next year's draft. Now it's some point in August, and you have to have the player sign, or he
changed that rule.
Off he goes. Used to be called a draft and follow. That was him. Bouncing ball, and it's foul. Well, that's a different kind of draft and follow. You draw the draft, and people follow right up to your stands. Tipper. That's nice to see. Taking care of the folks at the ballpark.
All right, we're back. 2 adults.
That doesn't look like an adult.
The 2-2. Slider, fly ball left. Drew back. Jackson in. Steven puts it away, and a nice job keeping that runner from scoring. I'll tell you what, I raise a glass to Edwin Jackson and the block at home plate by Miguel Montero. We welcome you back to the ballpark and all of you down below. Every time a Diamondback hits a home run this season, would be nice. It's a 2-0 Padres lead. Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Hey there, little one. Oh, that shot.
She is.
Dad gets to focus on the game, and the little one gets a between innings reading of Dora the Explorer.
Probably some Spanish in there as well as English.
Absolutely.
Very educational children's show.
Now, the one thing we do know is when the Diamondbacks do reach, Swiper should be busy on the base paths.
Keep
just swiping,
and that's when Chris Young will say, "Swiper, stop, Swiper, no swiping." Is that correct?
That's exactly right. But that never works for Chris Young, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
The 0-2. Got him with a high. Well, everything he throws is up. A high breaking ball. Johnson, who was 0 for 4 yesterday, hit the ball hard 3 times. Didn't do it this time.
It stays right on the inside corner. Good pitch. Right now, big old Chris Young is keeping these D-back hitters at bay. Diamondbacks yet to get a hit.
Now Jackson has had a bat in his hand. Remember, he debuted in the National League with the Dodgers. 4 for 30 in his time in the big leagues. Has only struck out 10 times in that time. Pops that one up to the right side. Adrian Gonzalez keeping track of the real estate as that one ricochets down below.
He does look a little hitterish, doesn't he?
He does. He's certainly a good athlete. We know that. And the Sutton rule of thumb that I've shared with you that I think you've bought into, if you're a pitcher and you strike out less than half the time, you at least will be putting it in place some, a chance to help yourself.
That is a great chance to help yourself. I'm a big believer. If you're going to be considered an out, be a tough out. Strike 3.
Got him with a breaking ball down and away. So 0 for his last 9 with the bat in his hand in the big leagues last couple of years.
When we're going to see some bunts on this big old 6'10" guy? Anybody going to bunt for the Diamondbacks? Make this guy move around?
Well, Steven, Justin, Mark, Chris,
just about anybody.
Well, they really all have the speed.
Well,
Connor popped up to first base back in the first inning. Fastball is high, and he'll keep going up there as long as they keep offering.
Yeah, if the Diamondbacks are going to chase those high fastballs, he's just going to continue to throw them. He's from Princeton. He's no dummy.
Infield all the way back. That's popped up.
It's another high fastball just out of the zone. Well, guys like this, they just feed off aggressive hitters. Right now, that's what the Diamondbacks are. Just a little bit over anxious on this big old rascal.
Valley fever cost Connor Jackson the season last year. Just 30 games in which he played.
Indigenous to the desert.
That it is, Gracie. That it is. Well said by you. As that pitch is high. 2-1 the count.
Connor was able to lay off that borderline high pitch.
He's a guy that tricked me once.
Right.
But not again. The discipline he shows. Fastball popped up, ran that fastball in. Adrian Gonzalez got it. What a play by the Gold Glove first baseman for the San Diego Padres. Another out in the air and another inning of domination with a little help from his friend.
Fate and future of the franchise was in question, and that story, of course, spun out of control all summer long. I think if you told me that night that the next time I would talk about the Phoenix Coyotes with you, that they would have 102 points and about to lock up home ice advantage in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, I would never believe it. You guys were very supportive that night and all summer, and I just wanted to take a second and let everyone know that there is a game tomorrow night. It's fan appreciation night. I've been given some tickets to give away, and I'm doing that on my Twitter page, if that's okay, at Walsh Todd, which you guys launched a year ago. You might recall, with those U2 tickets. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I wanted to say this. I thank you for your support on a difficult story to cover last summer, especially via a cell phone and a BlackBerry, as that thing was breaking all around us. But congratulations to the Coyotes on their way to the playoffs for the first time in 2002.
That's great stuff. And Todd, congratulations on a personal note for you. I mean, you never wavered in your dedication to the sport, to the franchise, your passion for it, and getting to cover it, I think, is your reward. So congratulations to you.
And thank you. And you guys know what that means. And I know you're big fans and supporters as well. There's a shot left center, Darren.
Go ahead and take it, Todd.
Okay.
There you go.
I feel like I'm up here.
Tell us what happened, Todd.
That was interesting playing left, but a nice play. 1 out.
There you go.
Yes. A little bit of a challenge. But this will be my last night with you guys for a while. I will be off covering the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'll be watching you in earnest, obviously, and can't wait to get back with my partner, Joe Borowski, who loves me.
Well, you're just going to break. So is Joe going to host the show now?
Joe, are you going solo now?
Doing it by himself?
After 2 games, I needed a break.
Yeah, it's done.
Good to have Joe Scully down there working by himself.
Going to be working by himself.
Shotgun marriage went well. We're done.
Well, we'll miss you, but we hope we don't see you for a long, long time.
Make sure you tell all those guys that I said hello and good luck.
I know they're watching. I know they are, and I will do that.
What a great job by not only the players, but the Coyote staff, everybody. Super year.
2-0 the count to Will Venable. Look out. There goes a portion of a maple bat into the stands. Baseball is cracking down on that in the minor leagues. They are unable to do so in the big leagues.
First time that I can get on my high horse this season, Darren. Get rid of those maple bats. My gosh. Bat explodes, and there goes a javelin into the stands. It's dangerous for pitchers, for catchers, and for fans. And the worst thing that's going to happen is a fan is going to get either maimed or killed at a baseball game, and it's going to be too late. Please get rid of those maple bats. MLB, Players Union, everybody, please.
2-1 the count to Venable. Well said. Two and two the count. It's one of those issues where a player, in fighting for his equipment, you understand some of the quotes, but just watching games every night, we have the benefit of seeing the dangerous nature of a flying bat as that one misses a little low. So you read those quotes and you think, really? Are you really fighting for that player A, B, or C? Because, I don't know, I'm not fighting to have a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old sitting in a seat by the dugout get hit by a bat. That one is hit, and it's hit hard. Crushed to deep right field. Venable with a homer. His first hit of the season is a long ball. Will Venable, the 27-year-old out of California. Homered 12 times last year, had a fine year offensively, and he does it again.
Well, he just leaned on a breaking ball. Full count, he gets a breaking ball. It doesn't do anything but go a long ways off the bat of Venable. What a bomb.
Fastball fouled off. And into the seats it goes. High fives all around for Venable. Dad Max played 12 seasons, parts of 12 seasons in the major leagues.
Princeton boys are putting it to the D-backs tonight.
That's perfectly said, Mr. Young and Mr. Venable. That's a curveball. Hasn't thrown too many of those, but he drops it in. 0-2. Three runs on 4 hits and an error for the Padres. Nothing on the line score for the Diamondbacks. Nice job by Montero. Didn't swing, though. 1-2 the count. Jackson last year made 33 starts for Detroit. An ERA in Comerica of about 4 1/4. On the road, and even 3 in the American League. For some reason, pitched better away from home.
Ooh, baby. I guess it was a ball. Edwin wanted it. Big old Teddy Barrett behind the plate said no. Well, that's close. You don't want to argue with Teddy Barrett too much, Darren. He's a former Gold Glover. Speaking of Gold Glove caliber, nice play there by Steven Drew. A shot off the bat of Nick Hundley. Yeah, Teddy Barrett, the home plate umpire, he was a Gold Glover. He was a former Gold Glove boxer. He got in the ring, and he's one of the nicest guys in the world. But if you cross him, you're asking for it. He may just box your ears.
Everett Cabrera doubled off the wall, I think, for all of us. Safe to say we have never seen him hit a ball like he did, and you can still look at the outfield alignment for Cabrera. That speaks to where they think he will hit the ball, or he has proven he will hit the ball, and that's the other way and fairly shallow. He hit a ball out off the All-Star game sign, 400 feet away the other way.
I don't think the Diamondbacks will make the mistake of playing him too shallow anymore. That ball right off the middle of the wall. When little guys hit it that far, boy, makes you wonder.
June on the count. That one runs in. Jackson takes a look down at his new hometown pitcher's mound, tries to figure things out. We hope over the shoulder of some of those fans comes some good luck offensively. Pretty good seat right there.
Oh, nice pitch there. That's a 3-1 breaking ball.
Just thought the same thing.
Well, I think he sees the pitcher, Chris Young, on deck, so he's figuring, you know what, I'm not just going to give in right here. I might just throw him something different.
Fastball in. We'll do it again. 3-2. Cabrera falling in love with the sport and getting a little bit older growing up in Nicaragua as he started to play the game. He idolized a guy that was built much like he is. That's Rafael Furcal. That's the guy that helped him fall in love with baseball. Big arm, pretty good power. That time he went around on a big arm pitch from the right-hander, Edwin Jackson. But Will Venable gets large into right field, and the Padres lead it 3-0. A little bit yesterday, comfortable today, leading it 3-0. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question, and this is a good one. Because Edwin Jackson was born in West Germany, we ask you this: who was not born in Germany?
Well, since you gave away the answer.
No, Edwin Jackson was born in Germany.
No, I know. You said that before the.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So who was not born in Germany? Which one? Einstein, Henry Kissinger, or David Hasselhoff? Here's a strike. Germany made David Hasselhoff a multi-billionaire.
Oh, yeah. He was very popular there. Still is.
Stephen Drew opens up a little bit early. Drives as a souvenir where you probably never thought you'd get one. Way down in the concourse area, well down the right field line. 0-2 the count to Stephen. Stephen reached on an error back in the first inning. Is 4 for 11 in his career against Young with a couple of doubles. The breaking ball stays high from Young. Christopher Ryan Young is 30 years old. He was born in Dallas, Texas. And in his career, lefties have hit him more effectively than righties, but it's not dramatic. Overthrew that breaking ball, 2-2.
Yeah, even his off-speed pitches are high.
Everything's
up in the zone. He's been effective tonight. Nothing but pop-ups and strikeouts off the D-backs bats.
Popped up. Should be room. There is, and put away by Mr. Hundley behind home plate as he hauls that one in.
Still nobody trying to drop a bunt.
See what Justin Upton has up his sleeve. He popped to right field. First pitch he saw back in the first inning. He's 3 for 9 with a double in his career against Young. Had a couple of hits yesterday. Pitch is high. You were talking about that sound stance, that quiet stance that he has. Justin was saying before the game, it's really not until at some point last year when I had been taught as he fouls it back, but was able to finally put in play. Finally settle and feel like I'm almost, and he said it with respect, a little more seated in my stance. Those legs really solid when it gets my foot down.
He just looks very comfortable in the box this year. Not a lot of wasted movement.
Justin saying today before the game, there's only one hitter that I've really ever played with that could move in the box. Move, especially with that lower body, and do so successfully, and that's Mark Reynolds. That's the only teammate I've ever, or opposing player I've ever played with that could do that.
That time he got a little bit giddy there with the changeup. He just knows a fastball's coming. Boy, bottom dropped out of that one. Nice pitch there from Young. Feet were just fine. Snail can sleep for 3 years.
2-2 the count. Right back through the box. Left a breaking ball up out over the plate.
Was that a bullet off the bat of Justin Upton?
Well, that's what we're talking about, Gracie. That approach of Upton, and he's rewarded there.
Yeah, that time a hanging breaking ball out over and just bang. Look out, Chris Young. Nobody hits the Diamondbacks, Darren.
Well,
that's not exactly true.
Here's Adam LaRoche. 0 for 5 to start the season. Adam talking about he and his family finally settling into their home. They rented a home here for the baseball season. Real outdoorsman. I mean, we talk about a hunter, lives in the Midwest in Kansas in the wintertime. Spent spring training in his first few days here in Phoenix in their motorhome. They all live in the motorhome.
Motorhome?
That's an outdoorsy guy. Camps, even while at spring training, playing in the big leagues, lived in the family motorhome.
Interesting.
How about that?
Don't hear that very often. Kind of cool.
0-2 the count. Now, he described the home that he's renting. Doesn't sound anything like a motorhome, but
more like what a millionaire would stay.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I like that. You can sense in talking to him that simpler things are just fine with him.
He's sitting in an 0-2 hole right now.
Pretty good pitch, backing him out of there. I mean, that right there is the story for Young. Throws it almost always where he wants to, but that fastball was 84 miles an hour. Straight.
That's all he needs. That's all he needs so far. Just a boatload of pop-ups.
Lifted. Giving it a look is Headley. And it's about 20 rows back, and it's a souvenir. LaRoche hit about 300 this spring with a couple of homers. Hit 25 homers a season ago. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Boston. Came up in the Braves organization. And there was a certain slugger that took a liking to him by the name of Chipper Jones that kept his eye on it when he broke in. Got him with a fastball, and down he goes. So LaRoche, hitless in his first 6 at-bats as a Diamondback. Unfortunately, continues to be what he's been throughout his career, a slow starter for at least a game and a half or so. Let's hope he can break out of that. Mark Reynolds, line to third. 2 walks yesterday, hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. Received some most valuable player votes at the end of last season.
As well he should have.
Drove in 100, 102, nearly scored 100, 98. You know, we talked about the ability to steal bases against Young. Just haven't been any base runners.
Yeah.
Now you're down 3-0.
I still think you should give it a whirl.
That's where I was going with that.
Just the score right now should not dictate whether that you vacate your game plan. And I would imagine the game plan is to try to run on Chris Young.
Well, we were told as much. High, 1-1 the count. Justin yesterday had a stolen base, had 20 stolen bases last year.
You'd love to get Justin to second and be able to score on a base hit.
He goes, it's popped up over our head, and Upton was moving there. 1-2 the count. And if you're just joining us, just getting home from work, first of all, glad to have you with us tonight. Game 2 of the season for the Diamondbacks after winning game 1 yesterday over the Padres 6-3. But Young on the mound, very, very easy to run on. Just 9% thrown out in his career. The Diamondbacks have never been thrown out trying to steal against Young. A perfect 11 of 11. Nice job keeping it there. Hundley blocks that one up. You know, we bumped into the young product of the University of Arizona before the game. Gracie and I did. He had a ball and pen in hand. He works now with Young and tries to fix those numbers. And he asked for an autograph. One Mr. Mark Grace.
And it's always a kick in the pants for me when one of these young studs asks for that. Ooh, just missed. Now Justin will be running on the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs.
Reynolds 2 for 13 with 4 strikeouts against Young career-wise. He's gotten him once, homered against him. One of the 2 hits, a long ball. Upton draws the throw of Young.
Tomorrow night, Ian Kennedy makes his Diamondbacks debut. Oh, up there by Bobby Freeman. How about those seats? Love them. Ian, he's earned himself 3 walks to start this season.
Pretty good at bat there by Reynolds. Fell behind. Just able to battle, and now just like that, the tying runs at the plate.
Miggy popped up to third base back in the second inning. Miguel drove in a pair yesterday. As he continues to do what he's done so well throughout his career, you get him with an 0-2 or a 1-2 count. That's when you think you've got him, and he gets you a lot. The Diamondbacks' everyday catcher, Chris Snyder, will be worked in based on matchups, and obviously catchers don't play every day anymore at all. The Jim Sundbergs are gone.
You don't see them very often at all anymore.
Late on a fastball. There you go again, and it's the question that we'll keep asking you. How does he do it? 85 right down the middle.
Right down the middle, and you can see plenty tardy was the bat of Miguel Montero. I mean, that is just center cut, thigh high, and I'm sure Miguel was looking for a fastball, but he was significantly tardy on it.
Fastball is up. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Miguel. We got a kick out of Montero. He sounded like a little kid when we were listening to him the other night in the dugout interview. Sounded like one of those kids as he told us about traveling the world. Bora Bora, Spain, France, Rome.
Made all of us guys look terrible.
Brought my wife with me, he said. Took her around the world. Pitch is high, 2-1 the count. Said he loved the food in Spain. That's his family heritage. Family heritage, though he grew up in Venezuela, is from Spain. So going back to the homeland.
Wives all around the valley. Why can't you be more like Miguel?
The 2-1. Lines that one in the left center field, and the play is made out there by Blanks. He scalded it, he hit it hard, but again, Young comes up bases. Sliding right through this game. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play. Fort Benning in Georgia, where he grew up. Edwin Jackson visiting a youth clinic, baseball camp. Edwin sponsored the entire day, had gifts for the youngsters, taught them the game of baseball, inspirational speaking for all of the youngsters, the young men and women that grow up, families of those that serve our country as he grew up.
We can't thank him enough for that. For his effort, he got a bullet right back up the box, didn't he?
Well, as it should be, you know. Youngsters
That
are out there.
Little kid put a pretty good swing on that pitch.
They're out there raking. One and two the count. Yeah, he had all the youngsters in Georgia gathered around. That's a great shot of the sand lot up the deck here at the ballpark.
Gas.
This is one of my favorite shots. I know we had to rush out of it. Grew up an Army kid. There's Dad. And I love that shot. Boy, if there isn't a prouder shot right there with all the men that serve our
soldiers
country.
back behind him. That is a great shot.
And again, our trivia question: who was not born in Germany? Brought to you by AT&T.
David Hasselhoff.
Well, we know Edwin Jackson was, and you got it right. David Hasselhoff. Anyway, first pitch is high. 1-0 the count to Tony Gwynn.
Now there's a great shot of the Knight Rider. Kit. David Hasselhoff.
The 1-0. Oh, gosh. It choked me up with that.
How you doing there, D?
1-1 the count. Tried to swallow a laugh.
Well, didn't take long for the boys in the truck and the females in the truck to come up with a terrible trivia question.
The 1-1. Broke his bat, and that's a base hit. Reynolds was in playing for a bunt. It didn't matter, though. That would have been a base hit even if he was back. So, Gwynn, you don't hold him down for long against a team that he has owned the last season plus, the Diamondbacks. There wasn't a team in the big leagues his dad didn't know. Jerry Hairston Jr. That phone started ringing in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
Well, 88 pitches now for Edwin. It's a big lead from Tony Gwynn at first base.
We were showing you Edwin a moment ago, the 26-year-old right-hander, born in Germany, as we mentioned. He was an all-star and made his debut on his 20th birthday as a member of the Dodgers, beating Randy Johnson. Shoots that one over there to keep an eye on Gwynn. Peeking down from up above as the bullpen goes to work, Leo Rosales. Right-hander. They worked hard, gained some velocity this winter, pitching in winter ball. Keeping things close with Gwynn. It's a funny thing, velocity, and the difference it can make for a pitcher. It's maybe about changing speeds and location too, because look at our Quest high-speed pitch. Brought to you by Quest high-speed internet. The one that throws 87s, leading 3-0. Pitch is high, rushed it to the plate, 1-0. Padres lead it 3-0. Third generation Major League ball player when you talk about Sam Hairston, grandfather, Jerry Hairston, father, and then of course Scott and Jerry Hairston Jr. Teammates, by the way. Scott Hairston, former Diamondback. His uncle, also Uncle John Hairston, played in the big leagues as well. Line drive right field. Upton is over. He is there to make the play. Gwynn's going to have to hustle back. Hit it hard, but right at Justin Upton. A couple of steps over.
Well, Justin got a nice break on that ball. That ball was headed to the gap, but Justin really got a good break on it. Gathered it easily. You can see. Oh, yeah, that's brotherly love right there. Doggone it. That was a great shot. Pulling for bigger bro.
Oh, you bet. The two brothers, when you see them, and looks are quite similar. But personality-wise, couldn't be more different as that one shoots up and away. 1-0 the count. Scott is much more low-key. We've known that. That's not Jerry. He's the one that's chirping and bouncing and squawking.
Yeah, Scotty just kind of takes it easy. Takes it all in.
One and 0 the count. Adrian played with his brother Edgar with the Padres. The Hairstons and their family ties to baseball. The Gwynn connection. Obviously father and son. It's an interesting team to cover. Pitch is high, 2-0 the count. By the way, a couple of father and son baseball guys standing next to one another right there.
Adam LaRoche and Tony Gwynn?
Yes, Tony Gwynn. They're no relation.
Oh.
Dave LaRoche pitched in the big leagues. Tony Gwynn.
Adam's got a brother Andy playing in Pittsburgh.
We'll see him over the weekend. Well, we just keep digging, don't we, Gracie?
Great play.
We got a play?
Left. Oh, yeah. That is a play for the ages right there. I saw it myself, Darren. That was officially big league.
Well, we're looking to see if we got it. We're told we don't have it in the truck.
Yep. Didn't happen then.
That's it?
Yep. He doesn't get the prize.
Right back through the box. They haven't played there. The big shift have flipped over to Reynolds, who was swung around playing short. Diamondbacks trail it by a score of 3-0. Come on, boys. Kick that bat rack. Somebody kick it. Just a little nudge. Love it up there. Great spot up there. What is Kachinko, you might ask? Gracie? Well, find out and learn how you can play right here at Chase Field by going to the interactive kiosk near Section 111 during Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home games. Gila River Casinos brings you Kachinko. Well, there's your bunt, and he fouls it off.
Good idea. Unfortunately, didn't get it executed. All you got to do is just get it past big Chris Young. And I mean, the littler Chris Young can just walk to first base.
How about that? 0 for 15 against Chris Young is Chris Young.
Try it again.
Playing it on a hop. Fires it on a cross. And Young is erased. Hit it hard.
3-0 the score. Boy, is that great. If you haven't been up there when you head to the ballpark, the Sandlot and Futures Field, great place to enjoy it with the youngsters. Kelly Johnson has erased that pitch in on his hands. Another out in the air.
3 pitches, 2 outs right now. Chris Young of the Padres is making this look easy.
That's what we're talking about at Chase. I witnessed that the other day. If you want to hit, my daughter Lily was up there hitting. If you want to hit, you shag.
You got to pick up the balls. That's right.
That's awesome. Great instructors up there teaching the game, having fun, love of the game. Represent the Diamondbacks training center.
Good.
Now Augie Ojeda called upon a pinch hit. Let's see if Augie can put it at bat here on Young. Edwin Jackson is done. That pitch is low to Augie. Augie last year hit .246 with an on base of .344. The 1-0. 2-0 the count, takes low. Edwin Jackson was not all he hoped he could be. Certainly had to use an awful lot of pitches. And 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs earned. 5 strikeouts for Jackson. There were certainly shades of brilliance and a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, he made an unfortunate pitch with 2 strikes to Everth Cabrera with 2 strikes and 2 outs, and gave up a ball off the wall for 2 of those runs, and then a solo shot to Will Venable. Other than that, 5 innings, 3 runs. You're not going to say that's great, but I thought he threw the ball pretty well.
Well, you talk about starts. He averaged last year 6 2/3 innings per start. Yeah, that's what Augie will do for you.
Just give you an at-bat.
Don't forget to start your Saturday nights right here at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks take on the Pittsburgh Pirates this Saturday at 5:10. The first 15,000 fans get a 2010 schedule magnet courtesy of Pepsi. Call 602-462-4794. Visit dbacks.com/giveaways. Good friends with Pepsi, that's a good thing. See if Pepsi can power our production crew. Maybe get that worked out. Some Pepsi products down by the production truck. Take care of the guys and gals that work so hard for us.
Well, Chris Young was just knifing through this Diamondback line, and then Augie Ojeda came up there and just started taking pitches, drew the walk. Now he falls behind Connor Jackson. See if Connor can get on top of one here. Hit the top of the baseball.
Pitch is low, 2-0 the count. He just keeps tempting. That one is not usually where he pitches. Down in the zone. Then he goes up, and it looks so good, and you pop it up. Hunter 1 for 4 with a single in the 6th inning yesterday. The 2-0. Popped it up, and into the seats it goes. That's exactly what we're talking about.
He's hitting everybody for the Diamondbacks, hitting the bottom of the baseball. Against a guy like this, you really got to focus for the top of the baseball. Put a good swing on it, and good things will happen. Balls in the air tonight have been finding Padre gloves. That's what you do. Lay off of that one, Connor Jackson. Nicely done. 3-1.
You know he'll lay off. Walks and strikeouts. The walks never a problem. Strikeouts never has battled those. 3-1 the count. Hot shot to a knee. Fabulous play by Headley on across and in time for the out. That time he picked up the man who usually has him hitting it in the air. Well, there's been a couple of times tonight that Headley says, you question my defense at third. Here's my answer.
Brought to you by Blimpie if you're just joining us. Eric Cabrera, he doesn't hit a ball to the opposite field at all that far. Well, he did tonight. A double, 2 scored in the second inning. And then Will Venable, homer 12 times last year, leans on one, and Chris Young has just been the other story. High breaking ball, strike 3. High fastball, strike 3. Pop-ups, line-outs. And when there have been balls hit hard on the ground, his defense has been there to make the plays, and the Diamondbacks have managed just 1 hit. Leo Rosales, right-hander, takes the baseball. Leo pitched this winter in Mexico to refine his work as that one is swung on and strike 1. 0-1 the count to Kyle Blanks. Last year, did all sorts of work. Late in games, early in games, 2 3-inning outings. Kind of a stunt man. You can see how well he did against opposing bats last year. 237 opposing batting average. But has found more velocity. There's no doubt about that. His fastball, he throws a 4-seamer most of the time. 88 to 94. He's hit 94 this spring.
92 right there, and that one got past. Big Kyle Blanks. You like to call him Billy.
Tybo. Shot of San Diego back behind Billy Blanks, as you call him. One of the better nicknames.
It is.
That pitch is high. 1-2 the count. That right there, a fastball, a 4-seam fastball, but listening to his pitching coach, he said occasionally it will just naturally cut his fastball. Like that. Popped up and into the seats it goes. But still the changeup, a fabulous pitch. That's the pitch that stands out in the back of their minds.
Rosales, the result of a trade a couple of years ago for Scott Hairston. Scott Hairston went from the Diamondbacks to these Padres. In return is Mr. Leo Rosales.
2-2. That one is high. 3-2. The count is yet to throw a changeup. Does he throw one here? 3-2. That's in the back of the mind of all these hitters.
Got it. Gas. Right by Kyle Blanks. No nonsense. Here it is. Just right by him.
Third baseman, Chase Headley.
Here's Headley. Singleton scored in the second inning and fly to left field. Kevin Correa against Ian Kennedy tomorrow night. That one is lifted into the seats. Kennedy making his Diamondbacks debut. For each hit the Diamondbacks get from now through the end of the season, Amica donates $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Phoenix. The hot zone for Headley. 0-1 the count. Boy, pretty good spot there. It's low. Game not on television tomorrow night, so come on out to the ballpark. Get to see Ian Kennedy work. We'll be back with you on Friday. Interesting ball games, no doubt about it, this weekend, as that one is lifted down the line. And might I say, if you happen to not be coming to all of the games this weekend, Ian works tomorrow night. I'm excited to see what he can do. But over the weekend, if you're watching it all on television, I mean, the analysts will be just coming in one after another like this, basically. We have Luis Gonzalez on Friday joining us as our analyst. We welcome back Joe Garagiola on Saturday night after missing him for a year. As that one is lined to left field.
Oh, that was pretty.
What made it so?
Just not trying to do too much. Not trying to pull this ball out of the ballpark. He takes a pitch knee high, outside corner, and he just swats it over there to the left side. Man, that is a thing of beauty. Chase Headley, very impressive.
4 hits already to start the season. That one grabs the outside corner. It's a strike to Venable. And then Mark Grace returns from his network assignment on Sunday. So we like to call it the 3 Gs weekend. Gonzo, Garagiola, and Grace.
You going to make Gonzo behave himself?
Absolutely not. And you know I won't ask Joe to behave himself at all.
No, we've missed Joe. It's going to be great to have him back.
In good health, had a chance to get together with him over the winter time. Really enjoyed it. It was good to heed the advice of a Hall of Fame broadcaster. And those Diamondbacks fans will be excited to have him back on the air. I know, Todd, you had a chance to sit with him at his home.
Yeah, Darren, I know you've been there for your radio show, and you've talked so much about having a chance to pay a visit and just to see the kind of things that Joe has. That ball's ripped foul. He is a collector, as you know, of all things, but we are putting together a Joe Garagiola in my own words, which I think will be something that I'll never forget. It was like walking into a museum of the last 30 years of our lives. He is the soundtrack, if you will, I think, of many of us, generations of us, pop culture to sports, you name it, and it was all there. And Joe gave us a couple of hours that I'll never forget, Darren.
Look forward to seeing that. The throw by Montero, the pitch is low, and it's a stolen base. Thank you, Todd. I know it's a treat to be over there and to spend time with Joe. I know Joe has been dying to get back and is in good health again. Strong.
You know, he said, Darren, I'm sure he said the same thing to you when we left, the production crew, after we sat around and had lunch and told even more stories, which were better than the stories that we got on camera. He said, why don't you come back some weekend and we'll just go over everything. And I stopped and turned and looked at him and said to him, if you say that again, I'm coming back.
No, you bet.
I mean, you're walking around, you're looking at, you know, autographed photos of the guys that landed on the moon to pictures of him with the Pope, presidents, and then baseball.
Fastball is low, and it's hacked right through. That's strike 3, down and in, down in the hot zone, and he strikes him out. I know when I was on my way out the door saying goodbye to Joe, he said, hey, wait, give me that back. And I had several things that I tried to sneak out. So
I had a couple. There was a couple of Charles Schultz autographs that I had my eyeball on.
Oh, wow. Peanuts.
Yep.
You know, I know most everybody's going to be shocked about this, but I wasn't invited. Would have loved to have seen that stuff. Thanks, Darren, Todd.
Mark, you know the drill. I mean, as long as I've known you, it's just implied.
Tom,
you're always invited wherever I'm going.
Well, thank you, but once again, it's kind of like the barbecue at Darren's mom's house last year. Just not looking forward to that this year, though.
The 1-0 is a pitch that's high with a runner at second. Just received word, by the way, Todd, I apologize.
Yeah.
That, this trip out, we won't be having the barbecue. The next trip out west, we will. You're invited, and again, unfortunately, I haven't heard anything on Mark yet. His status.
Looking forward to spending a little time. I'll even grill the tenderloins, the lamb chops. Looking forward to it.
Bouncing ball. It's a foul ball.
Darren, excuse me. Did I ever tell you about when I tried to get a hold of Mark for Game 6 of the American League Championship Series in New York that I just happened to be in town for on an off night with the Coyotes?
In New York?
Yes. Yeah.
Gracie was on network assignment?
Yep.
You guys went to the Wheel Tapper?
No, I couldn't. I never.
No, I did.
2-1 the count to Nick Hundley.
Do you know how hard it is to try and expense tickets that you scalped with a company that you just can't float that through? You can do a $65 cab fare.
I didn't know we could expense things.
Well, there's that.
3-1, looking to get back in the dugout. And that one is low. It bounces away. Montero will trace it all the way back to the backstop. And so a wild pitch. Headley is at third. And a walk has runners on first and third for Everett Cabrera.
Cabrera doubled in a pair back in the second inning and struck out in the fourth. 6 hits for the Padres, just 1 for the Diamondbacks. And as far as feel goes and momentum, what a difference a day makes. Just reminds you that baseball is not, in fact, a momentum sport.
Well, your momentum is your starting pitcher.
That's
Yesterday
exactly
it was
right.
Dan Herron, and he made the Padres look like a flat ball club. And tonight it's Chris Young of the Padres. Well, it's his turn to make the Diamondbacks look like a flat ball club. But all it takes is just a quality pitch here from Leo Rosales. Get your team in the dugout. You've still got 4 more whacks at the Padre pitchers. But it starts here. You got to make a quality pitch here and keep it a 3-run game.
We saw Edwin a moment ago. He is obviously not being supported tonight. He was one of the least supported pitchers in the American League last year. At 4 runs a game.
He came over here to the Diamondbacks. Oh, by the way, guys, I saw plenty of this in Detroit last year. How about a little offense?
Matt Garza, Jared Washburn, and Dallas Braden in the list on Edwin's not supported list. But Edwin will tell you, I should have done a little bit more myself, as that one is low. 2-1 the count. Meantime, Rosales has really had to plod through this inning.
Yeah, he's pulled the parachute, hasn't he? Taking a long time between pitches. Got to work fast, throw strikes, and keep that defense on their toes behind you. There's a beautiful change up right there. Cabrera missed that one by a bundle. I think one more of those ought to do it, Darren Sutton. Anything but a change up here, I would be very surprised.
Hasn't thrown as many as we thought. Again, really worked to add to his repertoire in Winter League.
Another step off.
2-2 the count. All right. Change up is high.
Missed.
Runner will be on the move from first base. Skipper A.J. Hinch hoping his boys can take a whack at Mr. Young or a member of that Padres bullpen.
Well, you've got a pinch hitter on deck, but I would be shocked. It's almost like, hey, go ahead and walk Cabrera. That means Chris Young's out of the game.
Fly ball well struck into right center field. Young is on the move, and again another extra base hit for Cabrera as he races on around. He touches second, heads into third with a gimme slide. He drives in a pair, and a big tack on by the San Diego Padres as they lead it by a score of 5-0. The walk comes around to score as Headley does as well.
Cabrera just a wrecking ball here tonight against the Diamondbacks. A double to left center with 2 outs in the second inning. Now a triple to right center with 2 outs here in the 6th. That's his 4th RBI of the night. I'm sorry, the 5th RBI, 3rd RBI of the night. I'll figure it out here shortly. Now, go back to, I was right the first time. 4 RBIs.
He is hurt. That's the bottom line. This is the guy that you least expect to hurt you, I think. As that one is low. And not that he wouldn't hurt you with his speed, laying down a bunt, but not extra base hits, big RBI hits. Encouraging certainly for the Padres, as that one is low to the pitcher, Young. 2-0 the count.
Leo's just got to rear back, throw the baseball down the middle. Let's go.
Couple of runs in this inning. Fastball, strike.
And only because Young is 6'10".
That's exactly right.
tough inning continues. The tough inning will come to an end. A.J. Hinch has to make a call to the bullpen. 5-0. San Diego leads it. It was 3-0. We peeked down. That bullpen's been busy. Too busy tonight here on the second day of the season. San Diego comfortable, confident, and rolling over the Diamondbacks 5-0.
Over the Diamondbacks. Well, how would you like to announce a game? If you or someone you know is 10 to 14 years old and would love to call a game with us right here in the booth, then come out Saturday to Chase Field to shoot your video essay for the Fox Sports Arizona and Sanderson Ford Lincoln Mercury Kidcaster. So the shoot is Saturday on the Chase Field Plaza from 3 to 5. And guys, I know you had a lot of fun last year. Plenty of great kidcasters, and they love to come up and meet you guys and come bearing gifts sometimes, right, guys?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Thank you, Jody. We love our partnership with Sanderson Ford, Lincoln Mercury, and Volvo. We love the youngsters. We love this youngster. What a spring he had. Jordan Norberto making the club for the Diamondbacks with an incredible electric arm that dials a fastball up to the mid-90s. Out of Nagua in the Dominican Republic, this is his major league debut.
And a good opportunity to get his feet wet here at the major league level. You're in a 5-run game.
That's the curveball that is low. He also throws a slider that about 5 miles an hour harder. Mainly it's a fastball that hits the radar gun between 90 and 96 years old. You can see a little bit more about the young man. And a fan favorite, Clay Zavada, was edged out. Hope to see Zavada doing well down in AAA and back here soon as well. Maybe the two can be there together if it works out that way. The story of Clay and the resiliency and the way he got to the big leagues. As they get ready to open up the AAA season here in a couple of days, we'll be pulling for all of them. Outside, 3-1 the count. Jordan says, I need a new baseball. Let's try that. The 10th 3-ball count for Diamondbacks pitchers tonight. The 10th.
Yeah, that just makes for a stagnant ball game. Walks, 3-ball counts, just a lot of pitches.
Wind breaks his bat into shallow center field. Here comes Young, still coming. Diving play, Chris Young. Young leaving his feet. Norberto gets his feet on the ground in the big leagues. And at least keeps it a ball game. That just saved a run, maybe two if it gets by.
That's to sleep.
Hasn't happened tonight, unfortunately. It's been, unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, easy out after easy out. Chris Young has just been in complete command. And even if the D-backs hit it hard, there's been a Padre there. You see Diamondbacks already with one hit.
11 of the 19 Diamondbacks that have strolled into the batter's box have seen 4 or fewer pitches in their at-bats. Taking a couple of pitches already, Stephen Drew. 1-1 the count. Well, folks, we're glad you just tuned in if you did, because this is the inning.
Oh, you're calling it right here, huh?
Lifted into left, 1-2 the count. Yes, sirree, Bob. This is the inning that gets started.
I love that glass half full you bring night in and night out. I'm on board, Darren. Come on. Here we go.
How about the folks at home? Good to have you with us. 1-1 the count. Hopped it up. And it's just one out.
Still feeling it, are you?
Justin Upton next.
Okay.
I always feel it when Justin Upton's about to hit. Upton singled right back through the box in the 4th inning. Fly to right field in the 1st inning. Great Bridge High School. #1 overall pick in 2005. Norfolk, Virginia. Pitch is high. 1-0 the count to Justin. That bullpen still rolling down below. Lane Boyer warming in the pen. Just laboring to get it up there, it looks like. Breaking balls have had very little crispness tonight for Young.
He's doing something well.
Well, and I, by no means am I being critical of a gentleman throwing a 1-hit shutout. By the way, anytime the Diamondbacks score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
We got a little work to do if we're going to get some tacos.
Well, it just started. That's ball 4 to Justin Upton.
Did you get your tacos today?
Certainly on the way in. Absolutely got a large drink. Picked up those soft tacos. And we had them for dinner time. Yep, between 4 and 6 on the way in. When I got here, I found a participating location. A strike over the inside. Looked like he cut the fastball. 0-1 the count to Adam LaRoche. I got you on that one, did I, Sparky? Breaking ball, it's a strike.
It's good for you to find that participating location.
0-2 the count. Boy, pretty good pitch right there. Called just a little bit low. So we mentioned Adam's brother Andy LaRoche coming to town this weekend with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and to hear Adam talk about it. And there's an older brother too in the family as well, both a little more stoic, old souls if you will, and then there's Andy. Simply put, then there's Andy. As that one is high and away.
Got a little more jump in his step.
A lot more jump in his step. Adam will say, I like to spend my winters in a deer stand or hanging out with my family, with my kids, fishing. Andy, he likes to spend his winters in Newport Beach, Vegas, New York City. Little bounce in his step.
That's a lot of bounce.
That pitch is low, 3-2.
There's not many deer stands in New York City.
I don't think so.
No.
There may be some stands where they.
On the Vegas Strip.
No, again. 3-2 the count. Got him with a fastball. So LaRoche takes that painful walk back to the dugout. His brother. We talked about the bounce in his step. That's where the brother would be.
Yeah.
I have no idea why we have that footage.
That's just so big league.
And Gracie just left the booth.
I'm more of a Vegas guy than a deer stand guy.
Really?
Yeah. I'm kind of in line with Andy.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm more of like a hot dog stand guy. I like hot dogs.
Well, yeah. That I knew. Yeah, just
bouncing ball. It's a foul ball.
All right. Mark Reynolds. Here we go.
Might get us going. A little rally trip, Mark Grace. A little rally trip to get us going. Try your luck.
That's right.
Diamondbacks about to try their luck. Andy LaRoche jetting on in.
Maybe needs a new pair of shoes. Give me that hard 8. 7 out.
You don't always win in Vegas, my friend.
Very well said.
Eric Faulkner, great work, great building back in the tape room, though there is no more tape in the tape room as we welcome you back. It's all digital these days, and ball bearings. 5-0 the score. San Diego on top of Arizona. Blaine Boyer takes the baseball. He's Mark Grace. She's Jody Jackson. My name is Darren Sutton. Glad to have you with us tonight. Todd and Joe as well bookending this show. Joe Borowski, Todd Walsh, pre and post game, and joining us throughout the game. And the right arm of the leaner, meaner Blaine Boyer makes his 2010 debut, about 25 pounds lighter than he was last season. As he goes to work, and he does so with a good arm. Fires a fastball just off the plate. 94 miles an hour, 1-0 the count. His pitching coach says it simply. I would love for him to just throw it right down the middle and let it go. Let it run.
Let that great live arm just get outs like that with it. Fastball right down the middle and just ate up Hairston. One easy out.
Hairston Jr. is retired. Now, again, taking a step further, when he says throw it right down the middle, Gracie, why would he say that and what does he mean?
Because what he's saying is aim down the middle, and then you're going to create some tail on the ball or some sink on the ball. You already throw in the mid-90s, so go ahead and aim it down the middle, and wherever it runs, and you're gonna get a lot of outs with just your fastball.
There are times pitchers like Boyer who are just gifted, simply put, as he faces Gonzalez. That one just off the plate. There's Baxter.
There's Baxter, that mischievous one. He's probably got a hand buzzer there for those kids. Get about 500 volts when you shake hands.
Boy, is he popular. That pitch is low, 2-0 the count. But there are times when a pitcher with the life in the arm as Boyer has in the movement where they will attempt to work the corners. Well, to listen to what you're talking about, if you throw it down the middle, it may run to the corner naturally. If you throw it at the corner, it's a ball.
That's exactly right. And right now he sits in a 2-0 count, and you better be careful. Well, that was a thing of beauty. Aimed it down the middle, went right to the outside corner. And you can have Miguel Montero and or Chris Snyder just sit in the middle of the plate. You don't even need to sit on a corner. Sit in the middle of the plate and let that talented fastball, just trust it. Well, that was a pretty good pitch there. Didn't get the call.
3-1 the count. Boyer, born in Atlanta, Georgia, still makes his home in Marietta in the offseason. Went to Walton High School. Big-time sports program at Walton High School, and especially baseball. 3-1. In on the hand, shallow center. You have to play him deep, and he dumps it in there. Adrian Gonzalez.
But still a good pitch with the fastball. He broke his bat. Sometimes good pitches don't get good results. That was a very good pitch. The result was a broken bat, but Adrian Gonzalez so doggone strong. He gets it out over the infield for a base hit. I mean, he eats him up with a fastball in. Kyle Blank's going to stand in now against Boyer. And he's going to see strike one with the slider. Partner likes to call him Billy.
The great Tybo King. Billy Blanks, I did with no intention, like to call him that yesterday, knowing it would happen at some point soon. Didn't think it would happen opening day.
Man, look at that fastball right underneath the
There
hands.
it is again.
Beautiful pitch.
And that's why, again, we go back to what Mel Stottlemyre Jr. said before the game. Just simplify it for him. You can just throw two pitches, young man. Fastball slider at the fastball.
Yes.
My goodness.
That didn't take long.
He blew him away.
3 pitches, 3 strikes. Goodness gracious. Just elevated and right by Kyle Blanks, a.k.a. Billy.
Good pitcher and a good recruiter. Isn't that right, Jody Jackson?
That's right, Darren. And Blaine Boyer joked he was called recruiting coordinator this offseason, educating Kelly Johnson and Adam LaRoche about this team, telling them what he thought, great camaraderie, great chemistry, love to play for manager A.J. Hinch. And they were all drafted within the Braves organization back in 2000. Another player that was in that draft class, Adam Wainwright of the Cardinals.
And so he helped recruit him. Thank you, Jody. He helped recruit him out here. Adam LaRoche is much documented, received a more lucrative offer from the San Francisco Giants. Liked the fit for him and his family better.
And a little better place to hit here, Chase Field, than up in San Francisco. They call that ballpark something different every year. What is it this year?
I think it's AT&T.
Is it AT&T again? Okay.
Sponsor of our trivia question, by the way. Otherwise, I wouldn't have mentioned the name of the ballpark.
Gotcha.
Bouncing ball, Boyer is there. He fields, he fires to the man he recruited here to Arizona. Playing a tune on the mound that time, getting it done. Bobby.
Oh, Bobby, do it.
Can you hit, though, Bobby?
Well.
Gimme.
that I know you want to focus in on, don't you?
Yeah, you know, Edwin Jackson went out there, and you look at his line scores, gave up 3 in 5 innings, but I think the second inning is going to be the proven tale that maybe he's going to learn something in the National League.
That's where we will begin our coverage coming up the moment this game ends. But right now, let's get back to it. Derek Sutton, Mark Race, guys, take it away.
Look forward to hearing what Joe has to say as he looks ahead for the second start for Edwin Jackson. We'll talk about it as well in the post-game show. And we hope to maybe, I don't know, maybe just maybe be talking about a rally.
What?
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it.
All right.
You're
going to the post again here.
I have to.
Well, you crapped out the last inning. We had all that Vegas stuff, and that was big league. And that was where the fun ended.
Very well said. Luke Gregerson takes over.
And right now, if you're a Diamondback, you say anybody but Chris Young.
It's crazy to say, isn't it? I mean, a guy with the stuff that Gregerson has and the year he had exploding onto the scene last year, but you're right.
And he has got a fabulous slider, Darren Sutton. Fastball is pretty good. The slider is terrific. Luke Gregerson, the tall right-hander, burst onto the scene last year for these Padres.
Out of a small school in Illinois, shot the other way. There you go. Comes in with a fastball in the 90s, a good hard slider, and right away gets whacked. Chris Young was getting outs at the letters to the belt at 85.
Just a slider that spins up there, and Montero does a good job with it. Swats it over there to the left side. Nicely done.
So now Chris Young. Gregerson came to the Padres last spring training when Khalil Green was sent to St. Louis. And did he ever seize the opportunity? You saw his numbers a moment ago. Fastball at 90. It's a strike. 0-1 the count. And as we last night watched the NCAA basketball championship, congratulations to Duke. This young man pitched at the NAIA level, did not pitch in the NCAA level, pitched at a small college level, but yet here he is, as that one is fouled off. I noticed as I was explaining where he played collegiately, in the setup there, you booed the finals of the basketball game.
I just kind of wanted to see the underdog. I wanted to see the Butler Bulldogs just pull the mighty upset. It would have been great stuff.
They had
Congratulations to Duke. No question.
That was a fabulous game.
It really was.
Incredible game. Gordon Hayward almost drained the winner, as that one is high and inside.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gordon didn't drain much of anything last night, did he?
Yeah, I couldn't get that winner to fall, and then the half-court shot at the end. The Horizon League represented them.
Yes, they did.
This young man out of St. Xavier University in Illinois. NAIA school, small school. The 1-2. Pop foul, back to the screen. And when you play and you pitch at the NAIA, you do both usually at a smaller college. Well, he was the Chicagoland Conference Player of the Year in 2006. He hit .335. His ERA was 0.68.
Makes you wonder why he was at an NAIA school.
The 1-2. Slider left it up. It's juiced into the gap in left center field and down. Montero racing on around. It bounces around into the corner. Montero comes home. He will not go a throw. The Diamondbacks break up the shutout. As my esteemed colleague said a moment ago, anybody but Chris Young. Now, that Chris Young takes advantage.
Sometimes the best thing you can have early in the season, especially before the starters have gotten their arm strength completely back and before they can go deep in the game, it's nice to see even a Mariano Rivera or a Trevor Hoffman, somebody to come in to take over for the starter that is just throttling you. Luke Gregerson had a terrific year last year for these Padres, but the first 2 Diamondbacks he sees took him to the woodshed, and now they're going to have a meeting on the mound.
Gregerson last year from mid-May until just about the end of the season had an ERA of below 2. Opponents hitting below 200 against him in 50 appearances.
And Darren, you don't have to get them all here. Yeah, you'd love to have 5 or 6 runs here. But if you can get a couple or 3 here, it's going to make for some tightness in that Padre dugout. So you want to just keep the line moving. If you make an out here, make a productive out. Find a way to get Chris Young to third base if you have to. Sure, you'd love a double down the line. But you got to win the little battles as well.
Very good point. At least get that runner over. Pulled the string, bigger than life. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Kelly Johnson. Hitless in his first 6 at-bats as a member of the Diamondbacks. Man who makes his off-season home in Atlanta. Hopes to get back to call Texas home someday, where he grew up. Braves' #1 pick in 2000. Shoots that one foul and down the line. Johnson in 07 and 08 before suffering a wrist injury and a poor offensive year last year. It's a flat-out hit. Nearly 300 games in those 2 years. Hit .282 and on base of .362. Bobby Cox could really count on. Bouncing ball that will not move the runner over. Took it right back through the box. Was on it. And then Gregerson just took it away.
And that's going to give us our first look at Tony Abreu.
Number 3, Tony Abreu.
And what a spring he had. Came into camp like he had to win a job. That's the way he played. And he did. In 23 games this spring, he had 20 hits, hit .345. Walked a time or 2, but walking's not really a big part of his game.
All this kid's done is hit everywhere he's gone.
He's a switch hitter. Acquired last summer in the trade that sent John Garland to the Dodgers. Throughout his, Gracie mentioned, his minor league career has been a hitter. Battled hit problems over the last few years. It cost him some time as he fouls that one off. 7 seasons in the Dodgers organization. And a .300 hitter in that time in the minor leagues. Connor Jackson waits on deck. The 1-1. Nice take there on a sinking fastball. Not interested at all in that one.
You'd love for Tony Abreu to find a way to reach safely, turn the lineup over, bring up Connor Jackson and the rest of those ornery guys at the top of the lineup that have been hot.
Pitch is high. 3-1 the count. There was debate whether the Padres would have a left-hander they could use with Joe Thatcher injured. Well, they broke camp and decided to add Cesar Ramos. He's down there. Mike Adams really has resurrected his career at San Diego for Bud Black in that pen.
Got to chase ball 4. It looked like a cut fastball, maybe a slider. I'm not sure if Gregerson throws a cut fastball.
Equipment flying everywhere.
Nick Hundley's toe guard went flying.
Fixed that easy enough. Goes back to work. 3-2 the count. Got to get one more run across. That might do it. It dies out there. They're going to stop the runner at third and moves him up. Runners on first and third. A base hit for Abreu. Get used to that, folks.
He can hit. And he really put together a good at bat on Gregerson there. 3-2. Gregerson goes with his bread and butter pitch to slider. Abreu rips it into right field. That's what you need, base runners. Abreu does his job now. He turns the lineup over.
Turns the lineup over for a hitter who has proven when healthy, outside of last year, is very dependable, really works the count. And this is the other situations. Late in games that A.J. Hinch said, this is where I like Connor as my leadoff hitter. As the lineup turns over, I believe in his ability not only to make contact, but to drive these runs in. Outside, 1-0 the count. Rarely does the leadoff hitter, in this case the big fella, the product out of Cal Berkeley, does he hit leadoff every time he bats in an inning.
Yeah, usually just once.
The 1-0. Low, not interested, never is with that pitch. 2-0 the count. Stephen Drew waits on deck. Bo Porter in the third base coaching box. If you didn't join us yesterday, Bo Porter does a great job with his outfielders. One of those is Connor Jackson. Matt Williams in the first base coaching box. Former Diamondback. Keeping an eye over at first on Abreu. A new look staff this year. Takes again. 3-0 the count.
Most hitters are going to chase that 2-0 pitch right there. The slider just off the plate, down and away, because they're looking fastball and they're thinking, I want to hit a home run. Connor was, you could see he was looking fastball and he was tempted, but he was able to lay off of it. I would imagine the take sign now on 3-0.
Taking ball 4. What an at bat by Connor Jackson. Never once did he even think about waving at a pitch out there. Connor reaches for the second time this season. He is 1 for 7 to start the season with a walk, and Bud Black has seen enough.
Anybody but Chris Young.
Turns around, shakes his head at his dugout. Mike Adams can be very tough on lefties. Stephen Drew is a lefty, but he's got a lefty down there. He's going with the southpaw. This is why they brought him here. This is why they made the decision. We'll see if it pays off. At third, Tony Abreu is at second. Connor Jackson, who coaxed the walk, is at first. And the left-hander, Cesar Ramos, who last season worked just 5 times in the major leagues. The left-hander out of El Rancho High School in Pico Rivera, California, goes to work.
Now Stephen Drew now all of a sudden representing the tying run. And team offense is about this, Darren. Chris Young, Tony Abreu, Connor Jackson, they've done their job to set up this opportunity for you, Stephen Drew. Now you continue that team offense by putting together a good at-bat and finding a way to do some damage off this young left-hander.
Fastball, fires it over the outside for a strike. So far, the numbers not on the side of Stephen Drew. But even a fly ball will do something as he nubs that one off the end of the bat. Racing in the infield, a pause and a throw, and just in time, Cabrera. Runners on second and third, a run score. Drew tied up on his knuckles there, 5-2 the score.
Let's see if Buddy Black decides to remove his left-hander, because Justin Upton is coming to the plate. We got an injured Padre.
Cabrera taking a look like his ankle is what he's checking on. Buddy Black will come out and check on it.
Ended up making a nice play. There was some miscommunication. It looked like, his ankle got a little bit underneath him. Ended up making the play anyway. Stephen Drew getting down the line. Just like most big leaguers, he'll be just fine.
So Justin Upton.
Anymore with these bell bottoms these guys wear, probably tripped over his britches.
You think?
Yeah. See, I like the Matt Williams type. Matt will never trip over his britches. See, Matt, he doesn't wear the bell bottoms. Those are the bell bottoms.
You mean pants on the ground?
That fellow made a song very famous, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I would imagine Buddy is standing with the home plate umpire, Ted Barrett. He's going to bring in Mike Adams. There's absolutely no way in the world that the left-hander stays in.
I was going to say, unless you walk Justin Upton and leave. Well, then you'd have to face Mark Reynolds. You can't do that. Come on in, Mr. Adams.
He will face Justin Upton when we come back. 5-2 is the score. Diamondbacks trail it 5-2. They have a chance if Justin Upton were to leave this ballpark to tie it up. But a single with a couple of outs could make a big difference in this ball game, make it a one-run game. Why do you make this move? Well, Upton has really his entire career hammered left-handed pitching. And against right-handers, there's at least a little bit of a difference. The right-hander goes to work in Mike Adams. Part of a double switch. Scott Hairston is in left field. Talked about Adams resurrecting his career last year. These are the numbers that tell it.
No doubt about that. But do you maybe leave the left-hander in, pitch around Justin Upton, and make Adam LaRoche beat you?
Here's Scott in left field. Well, the way Adam has started slowly, I clearly understand why you would think that.
This is why we tune in right here.
On the ground toward the hole. Gobbling it up. Long throw. Everybody's safe.
That's what speed will do.
5-3 the score. Upton drives in a run. He's been on 3 times tonight.
Bud Black going to come out and have a conversation with our first base umpire. That's Tony Randazzo. Let's see what Tony saw. Ball's in the dirt. He's safe. That's a good call. That is a good call. It's a beautiful play by Adrian Gonzalez. That saved a run coming up with that ball. But once again, Darren, anybody but Chris Young.
As we see it again, the Padres have continued in this inning to go to the bullpen. The third reliever in this inning on the backside of Young's outing. LaRoche drives it. Left field, well struck. Hairston goes back. Onto the track. He is there to make the play. Now the Diamondbacks are back in this ball game thanks to that young man. A patient at bat by Connor Jackson in front. Don't go anywhere. Visit Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It is on and by Fort McDowell Casino. Welcome home to Fort McDowell. Also by Sony Pictures' upcoming release, Death at a Funeral.
Huh? It's a little morbid.
The Old Town Scottsdale transition to Justin Upton. Young man. Another young man with these Diamondbacks finding a way to get back in this ball game. Now, Esperling Vasquez has the same role as a setup man or a closer here. You have to throw a zero up. Your team got a little momentum.
Yeah, your team just threw up a field goal in the bottom of the 7th to get back in the ball game. Now it is your job to get your teammates back in the dugout as quickly as possible and continue that momentum.
A real breakout year for the young right-hander. Amongst all the struggles, he seized the opportunity. Struggled when he first got to the big leagues. But we really watched him come of age, didn't we? He's always had the arm.
Yeah, well, the stuff is there. It's just a matter of believing in it at the big league level. It's easy to believe in your stuff at the minor league level. But when every game's on TV, it's a whole different story.
That one runs in.
Scattered some Padres down in their dugout.
Good to see him part of this Diamondbacks bench.
Tony Abreu had a great at-bat. Singled and scored.
Time is called. Vasquez
A two-seam fastball, throws it a majority of the time, which means it'll run a little bit away from the lefty in the mid-90s. Change-up, very good pitch. And a slurve, a slider and a curve combo type breaking ball. That's a fastball. There's that run away from a lefty we spoke of. Let's just explode at the plate.
That ball's a good foot and a half off the plate. And still Venable not able to lay off of it. That's usually a slam at the bat rack. Yeah, usually when you chase one that far off the plate, when you get back to the dugout, you hear a loud banging sound usually.
Really?
Yeah.
Left a breaking ball up out over the plate. No problem. Chris Young hauls it in. Got away with that pitch, no doubt about it, but he will take the second out. Our APS Energy All-Star, Everth Cabrera. And who else would you vote for? Playing pepper with the walls tonight. When you least expect it, a guy who's known as a slap hitter, a bunter, and a base stealer. How about this? 4 runs batted in, a double, a triple.
He's been Herculean tonight. Partner likes to call him Pocket Hercules. I call him Everth Cabrera.
One of the better nicknames used to be what you called Jay Payton back in the day. He was with the Rockies in Colorado Springs. Lines it down the line.
That feller down there looked like he wanted to try and make a play, and then it had a little more heat on it than he thought. He wisely pulled that left arm back into foul territory. There you go. Smart man.
And Mike Galloway in front of him, our Golden Glover. He was there to help.
Nice pitch, 91 miles an hour. Tailed right back over the inside corner. Let's take a look. I got it, I got it, I got it. No, I don't think so.
Yep.
Wise man.
Cabrera steps out of the box, feeling a little bit of momentum if Vasquez can get the Diamondbacks back in the dugout. The 1-2. Boy, a breaking ball just missed. That's the breaking pitch we were speaking of.
Somehow, some way, Cabrera was able to lay off that one. It looked like it was just out of the strike zone down. Nope, trust me, it was down.
2-2 the count. I knew I liked that Fox Tracks. In on the hands, popped up. Young coming on. He dumps it in there. Boy, when you're hot, you're hot.
He's doing something tonight.
A homer shy of the cycle. Wow.
Left fielder Scott Hairston.
Scott Hairston came on, part of the double switch. Former Diamondback. Good to have him back. We want to thank him for joining us live on our pregame show. Nice to have him and hear from him. It's a nice treat. Comes right out of the locker room and joins us, takes a walk down memory lane.
Great job by Jody Jackson.
Vasquez fires it over. The one thing you know about Scott is this. There's thunder in the bat. And you make a mistake, he will hit it an awful long way. No one's ever questioned his slugging numbers.
When he was traded over to the Padres originally for Leo Rosales. Remember a couple of years ago, Darren, there, Padres were making noise late in the year, and he just kept hitting walk-off homers.
I do. Wow. Adam can get a tag down pretty quickly, too. As a left-handed thrower, it's easy. Keeps firing it over. 5-3 the score. Runner goes. The pitch. The throw down. Not in time. Stolen base, and he does it oh so well, Cabrera.
as we mentioned yesterday, just tore up the minor leagues in the stolen base department. 160 stolen bases in a couple of minor league seasons.
Great jump there. That's more what you expect from Everth Cabrera. Singles and stolen bases. You don't expect wall balls like he's been hitting tonight.
No.
Miguel Montero, not a chance. Done it. Exactly what he said.
In 2004, Scott hit 13 home runs for the Diamondbacks.
Now it's time for Esmeralda Vasquez to go to work. Got to keep this man from scoring.
Overthrew a breaking ball. It's high. It's inside. 2-0 the count.
Got to be careful. Got to make a quality pitch here. 2-0 on the dangerous Hairston. And I just threw the breaking ball. It looks like this is almost a pitch around, which would shock me.
That man's no walk in the park waiting on deck.
If your last name is Gwynn and your first name is Tony, I don't care. If you're the third, fourth, or fifth, I ain't messing with you.
On 3-0 from Vasquez. 3-1 the count. The best year for Scott in the big leagues, certainly 2008 with the Padres. 17 homers that season. Played 112 games. Slugged about 500. Pitch is low, it's ball 4. So now, an inning which really had a feel that it might steamroll right back into the dugout has a different feel altogether.
And remember, there is no other left-hander. Norberto's been used. There is no other left-hander in the bullpen for A.J. Hinch. So it's up to Esmeralda Vasquez to prevent any more runs from scoring. And Darren, if I may, speaking from preventing runs, because we're back to work now, that means I can no longer coach my son's baseball team, but he played today and he threw 2 innings today, did Jackson, and struck out 4. He prevented runs.
Oh,
nice
congratulations.
going, Jackson.
Congratulations.
Now let's see if Esmeralda Vasquez can follow that lead.
It's a good lead to follow. Good stuff, Gracie. Fastball outside. Fastball slider, your son? Is that fastball splitty?
No, it's pretty much fastball.
Oh, just brings it.
Brandon Webb's his favorite pitcher, so he thinks it's a sinker.
Does he?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you could call Brandon, get him back soon.
I think I might have him do that.
I think you should.
All right, Esmeralda.
The right-hander on 1-0, fouls that one off.
Pretty good pitch right there. That one stayed right at the knees on the outside corner.
Good stuff last year after he was acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers. Got a chance to play late in ball games. 0 for 3 in his career against Vasquez. All of that last year with 1 walk. Starting pitcher a couple of seasons ago. Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year. And in the fall league, diving for a baseball. Injured his labrum in his shoulder, and that cost him about a season in which he struggled through and kind of tried to work his way through, and he has found life in the bullpen. Esmeralda the 1-1. Change up high. All up and around home plate, but not a strike.
Yeah, Esmeralda just starting to pull the parachute, which usually means you're starting to disbelieve in yourself. Got to stay positive out there on the mound. Keep that body language positive.
The 2-1.
That's a good way to do it. 93 miles an hour. And he beat Tony Gwynn with that one. Right at the top of the zone. Good pitch. And when a pitcher starts to get negative with himself out there, Darren, your teammates can sense it. The fans can sense it. You got to find yourself, just puff that chest out and believe in yourself and make a pitch. You've been doing it your whole life.
2-2. Ricochets off the backstop. Cabrera's at second. Hairston is at first. Gwynn hitting with a Hairston in the on-deck circle. And San Diego looking to add on. There's the elder statesman of the Hairston brothers. Vasquez wheels and deals. Outside changeup. Really flying off and leaving it away. Your arm will drag behind when you do that.
But you can see his body language, the way he's flipping around and the way he's snatching at the ball. Just getting a little negative with himself. Pitch of the game right here. Runners will be on the move.
There they go. Here it comes. Strike three. Got it.
Yes. Wow. Emphatic Esmeralda. Oh, you love that, Darren Sutton. I know you love that.
5-3 the score. Diamondbacks Live, our post-game show, breaking down Edwin Jackson's Diamondback debut. Seventh inning burst of offense, getting the team back in the game. We'll hear from the skipper as well. Adams against Reynolds, slider. Misses away from Mike. A 1-0 the count.
You got to find a way to get a base runner. Whoever's in charge of getting on base. It looks like that'll be Mark Reynolds right now. Your job is to find your way on. Sure, a homer would be great, but one way or another, you got to get the tying run to the plate in this inning. You'd rather not have to try to do it against the Padre closer and that big Heath Bell. He's one of the best in the business.
Adams broke in with the Brewers in 2004. Scuffing along in the minor leagues with the Mets and the Indians after some good seasons in Milwaukee. And health and that right there, one of the reasons why he's back, that wicked downward breaking slider.
Well, you can see Mark Reynolds, not a chance there. That's just a thing of beauty there from Adams.
There's a slider about 20% of the time. So you look for it. There it is, and it's low. To guys like Mark Reynolds, I would imagine you change that to say it throws about half the time.
Well, that's the thing. Mark is one of those guys that You just don't know. You know, you can strike him out with fastballs, you can strike him out with sliders, but you can also give home runs up to Mark Reynolds on fastballs and sliders. That's what makes him so exciting.
2-2 the count. Right-hander, the Texan deals. That one's outside. A nice take.
That was
hot fastball there.
That was a tough pitch. It's a ball. There's no question it's a ball. But boy, that's good patience there from Reynolds.
Throw that cut fastball and the slider. You put the two together, you see both a lot. On 3-2 to Mark. Fastball up in the zone, and that's. We show you the hot zone sometimes. Up like that for Mark. That's been the cold zone. That's where he has been beaten.
Once you go belly button high to Mark, that's usually too high for him. It's still a strike, but that's just too high for him to hit consistently.
So Mark a walk, a line out, and a pair of strikeouts. Now Miguel Montero. Singleton scored back in that 7th inning. Flied out and lined out. Takes a slider in. Some big years in the minor leagues for the Diamondbacks coming up through this system. And offensively lost his way just a bit as he worked as a backup. What a year he had in 2006. Fly ball out front of it, though. He split time between A ball and Double A in 06, and as a catcher had 26 homers and 95 RBIs in the minor leagues. That's a 140-game season.
That's a lot of RBIs. Yeah, you play one less month in the minor leagues.
That's a great point. We don't talk about that enough. Minor league season starts here.
It ends in August.
About day after tomorrow, and then ends in August. The 1-1. 1-2.
Got a good pitch to hit. Looked like Miguel swung a little too hard at that one. You can see he's not too happy. He knows he got his pitch and missed it.
The 1-2.
Pretty good pitch there from Adams. Challenged Montero right in the inside corner. Miggy was able to fight it off. It's actually very good hitting there by Montero just to fight that one off and get another opportunity.
One and two, the count. Miguel hanging around. You talk about catchers that can hit. Montero becoming one of those. There's no doubt. There's a bench coach over there in the other dugout. Ted Simmons. What a career he had. And for my money, offensively, overlooked with regard to consideration for baseball's all-time great catchers.
There for a few years in the 70s, he and Johnny Bench were the stalwarts behind the plate in the National League.
The 1-2. Hanging around.
They're having a battle. Two young studs, Adams, Montero.
Simmons, I think, had one of the great comments a couple of years back when he was with Milwaukee talking about leadership. He said the leader of your club is your manager.
Always.
And he finished it by saying, if that's not the case, then you need to get a new manager.
He was with the Brewers at that time, right?
Mm-hmm. Their manager was let go a few weeks after that.
And they got rid of their manager.
1-2 the count. The question was basically to Mr. Simmons, and I say that out of respect for all the people I've ever worked with that he has taught the game of baseball. It was about clubhouse leadership, and he drove me down to another road. He said, that's not about players, it's about a manager.
Managers and coaches, they're your leaders.
1-2 the count. Well, what a take on a changeup.
These guys are having a good battle. Adams is throwing everything he possibly can. Montero's fouling everything off. That's a good changeup. It dipped out of the zone. That's not a strike, folks. Don't be fooled by that.
This one on its way will be pitch number 9. Ground ball knocks Adams out of there. What an at bat by Miguel Montero.
That is a big time at bat. That's just the will to succeed right there. You got a guy out there throwing every weapon he's got. You finally get something you can handle, and you whack it and spin his cap right back up the box. Boy, that's nicely done by Miguel Montero. Very impressive. Now, he's done what you have to do. Miguel Montero did his job. He's bringing the tying run to the plate in Chris Young.
Young rounded out to third a couple of times. Doubled and scored in the 7th. Drove in a run as well. Slider, strike 1. One for 6 to start the season. Hit .306 this spring, an on base of over 400. Fastball, 0-2 the count, blew it right by.
Got his pitch. That's where Chris Young likes it. He likes fastballs middle in. He got it. Swung right through it.
Oh-2. High fly, right field. Coming on in front of the right fielder there and making the play is Gwynn. Cut right in front of Venable and hauled it in. All right, now Kelly Johnson. Johnson seeks his first hit as a member of the Diamondbacks. 0 for 7 to start the year.
Yeah, the right side of the infield for the Diamondbacks still looking for their first scratch. Kelly Johnson yet to get a base hit. Adam LaRoche yet to get a base hit. Let's see if Kelly Johnson can keep it going here.
1-0 the count.
Kelly got some pop in that bat, Darren. You make a mistake to him, he can hit it a long ways.
Outside, 2-0 the count. Lays off a pretty tough pitch there. Westwood High School in Austin, Texas. Braves' #1 pick in the year 2000. We saw earlier in this game Will Venable, right fielder, his first hit of the season was a home run.
Green light, or do you handcuff him here?
I have him taking a pitch.
I agree. He takes, and that's ball 4. Good at bat there from Johnson. He is the tying run, and he is at first base. I believe we're going to see Rusty Ryle.
You said it. This is the reason Rusty Ryle made this club. The ability late in ball games to swing the bat. His father, Mark Ryle, had a long career in the major leagues as a pinch hitter as well. Similar skill set. He could hit it in the seats. Rusty last year in 30 games in the major leagues had 3 homers, 6 doubles, 2 triples. Slugged nearly 600, an on-base plus slugging of .950. And power all over the ballpark. Strike one, a slider up in the zone.
Just spun a slider up there for strike one. Rusty was looking for a fastball, obviously, and it just froze him for strike one. Good pitch.
Runners on first and second, the 0-1. 0-2 the count.
Got the fastball right by him. Now you just go into battle mode. If you're Rusty Ryle, you're not thinking long ball. You're not even thinking ball in the gap. You're just trying to survive now. Try to find a way to keep this inning alive. Poke it into right field if you have to.
He goes down. You bet on 3 pitches. Ryle done after the Johnson walk. The Diamondbacks come up empty. Now they've got to beat Mr. Bell. Darren Sutton and you. We trust that you have had a good week to this point. We take a look ahead at what's brewing. Brought to you by our good friends with Miller Lite. Kevin Correa has had a great spring, has really worked his way back into an area, maybe having one of his more dependable seasons ever in the major leagues last year against Ian Kennedy, who makes his Diamondbacks debut, dominating in the minor leagues. Broke in a dominating fashion in the big leagues, but last year had to battle back from an aneurysm in his shoulder and had quite a scare. Speaking of scares, Chad Qualls, when that knee caved in last year after recording the final out of a victory, we all had quite a scare. Qualls just going to work, keeping things close here. And a very dependable right-handed hurler, an ERA of 3.6 last year. That one is bunted foul by Jerry Hairston. Qualls, and this might not be a bad opportunity. Let's see if we see a lefty. Yeah, we'd see coming up here in a bit, Adrian Gonzalez. Qualls has added, along with the fastball and the slider, a split-fingered fastball that he has thrown a lot this spring to left-handed hitters. So we'll look for it.
Well, he's got a heck of a left-hander on deck. But first things first, and that is Jerry Hairston. And I would imagine, this not being a save situation, I would imagine A.J. Hinch thinking, you know what, I might need to bring my most reliable arm because I'm going through the heart of the order right here for the Padres.
Bouncing ball. What a play by Mark Reynolds. Up the ladder he goes.
He's just such a good athlete over there, isn't he? Good range to his left, right, and up. That's a really nice play.
We have talked for years about, you and I anyway, in our time working together, And, folks, it's just an interesting conversation that goes on about closers pitching in non-save situations. Fastball dives. Boy, good life on that pitch. 1-0 the count. Thought that might have been the splitter, but it was too hard. How about that sinker?
92 with lead pipe sink.
The 1-0. That one is lifted foul. Joe Borowski, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm out here, guys.
I know, Joe, you're going to be joining us as our analyst in the postgame. You had 131 saves in your big league career, pitching in a non-save situation. What's it like to be Chad Qualls right now?
You know what? Fortunately for him, it's still a two-run game, so it is kind of close. It's when the lead's a little bit larger that I know I was awful every time. You know, you're going out there just getting work in, but, you know, it's still a relatively close game, so he's still got some adrenaline pumping.
But it's about the adrenaline is what you're telling us.
Totally. You know, you're used to going in there, games on the line. You either get the job done or your team goes home. So he's out there, and you got to try and trick yourself into thinking, hey, it's a safe situation, but we all know it's really not.
Thank you, Joe. We'll talk to you in the post-game show.
No problem.
There's
guys.
your perspective, Gracie. That one is lifted foul, and you and I have sat up here a lot.
I don't know how Joe feels, but I'm a big believer. I don't care what the score is. You know, when your name gets called, you need to go out there and get 3 outs. And you see it all the time when a closer comes in to get an inning of work. You know, they get hammered. Mm-hmm. I've always failed to understand that.
Jose Valverde really bad.
Yeah.
There's that slider diving down and in, 3-2 the count. Three and two the count. Qualls against Gonzalez. High drive, right field, up to the back, looking up, and it's way out of here.
That's what power hitters do to hanging sliders. Boy, oh boy, did he ever get a juicy hanging slider there, and he just destroyed it to right field. What a hitter this young man is. That one hurt.
His second home run in as many games. Barry Bonds, beware. He's on pace for 162 homers.
Man.
Ground ball. Matt Stairs, the slimmer Matt Stairs, as he raced on a ground out. Here's the location you were speaking of.
Oh, boy. Sliders, belt tie right down the middle. Boom. That boy can hit.
By the way, in spring training, again, to go back to the importance or non-importance of spring training numbers, as Adrian has homered in the first 2 games of the season.
He didn't do that all spring, did he?
Adrian Gonzalez this spring, Gracie, in 54 at-bats, didn't homer, hit 204, had 1 extra base hit all spring. Played games for a month, had 1 extra base hit.
Kind of like Miguel Montero. Oh, boy.
Chase Headley dropped the head of the bat on that one. It's crushed to center field. But there to make the play is Chris Young. Heath Bell ready to go. The Diamondbacks with Connor Jackson will roll through the top of the order. See if they can get it done.
was pretty amazing. That he's a type of guy that's not scared to let the ball kind of travel, and so he'll be able to see it that much longer so that he can go ahead and hit it the other way. And if you throw it inside, maybe he'll go ahead and pull it. So he's not the type of guy that if I throw my sinker away, he's just going to roll it over and hit a ground ball. He's actually going to try to go with it. So he's just a really good hitter, and wherever you pitch it, he will try to hit it, and he has power doing it.
Wherever you pitch it, he will try to hit it. And the little short sentence in the middle of that is, if you pitch it in, he'll hit it out or he'll pull it. And that's what he did.
Yeah, he threw his off-speed pitch, the slider. He just left it belly button high. And like I said, that's just lunch for guys like Adrian Gonzalez.
Heath Bell coming in to get a little dessert for the Padres. Wrap this ball game up. 42 saves a season ago. He's a good one. Yeah, and another guy, too, you can't stand hearing that he may not be here for the long haul for Padres fans. You would hate to see that happen. He's an all-star. Heath Justin Bell. Tustin, California. Undrafted, signed by the New York Mets. There's a strike from Bell over the outside. No television tomorrow. Catch the ball game on the Diamondbacks Radio Network or Sports 620 KTAR.
You're giving me the day off tomorrow, Dan?
The 1-1. In on the corner, 1-2 the count. Yes, but I know we'll see you out here at the ballpark watching Ian Kennedy make his Diamondbacks debut. Fireworks Friday night. Looking forward to you enjoying the fireworks with us.
Oh.
And then Saturday, scheduled magnet. We'll get you one of those when you come then as well.
All right.
Popped into the seats. We'll do it again.
You're gonna have Gonzo with you on Friday night.
Oh,
Not
that's
me.
right.
No, I won't be here for the fireworks, unfortunately.
And Joe on Saturday makes us all feel like kids when he
Get
comes
the Hall
by.
of Famer on Saturday. Yeah, but don't worry, Darren. You got me back on Sunday. I know that makes you just giddy.
Bouncing ball, middle of the diamond. Long throw, and it skitters on by, but not far enough nor into the dugout. Good effort there by Hairston Jr., but Connor reaches for the second time. He had walked.
Connor Jackson leading off for the second time tonight. Does what he's supposed to do. Finds a way to get on base. Just chops it right over the top of Big Heath Bell. Great effort there. The throw was late. And it was pretty much over once it got by Adrian Gonzalez.
Think about that homer by Gonzalez again.
It's looming large right now,
Wow.
isn't it?
It really is. And again, as Joe Borowski talked about, that closer pitching in a non-save situation. Breaking ball. Boy, that's nasty. 0-1 to count. Six to 3 the score. San Diego leads. Steven on the ground. Could be two. Cabrera. Hairston on to first. What a pick by Adrian Gonzalez. That is a double play. Quick turn. I think that any pitcher or first baseman would appreciate. Get all the latest D-backs gear straight from the source. Visit dbacks.com. T-shirts, hats, and jerseys, and more. The online shop of the Diamondbacks. Not Fox Tracks. No, it's dbacks.com. Breaking ball, strike one to Justin Upton.
Well, unfortunately, after that double play ball, the lead balloon kind of fell here in the ballpark.
Come on, Gracie, get your rally cap on. Don't give up.
That's some good stuff right there by those youngsters.
Bell fires it away. 69 and 2/3 innings last year for Bell. 79 strikeouts. Ground ball pitcher just a bit as he fires that one on by Upton. 1-2 the count.
I don't want to see Justin swing too hard. Remember, he hurt a rib last year, or an oblique.
I do.
With a vicious cut. You can see him grimace. That was more like his shoulder.
The pitch is high as this game flies along. 10 o'clock in the desert as we play here in the ninth inning. 6-3 the score. The Padres lead it. San Diego trying to win for the first time this season. Both teams will be 1-1 if it holds form and it's fouled off.
Justin's had a couple of base hits tonight. Looking to keep the D-backs breathing here. At 10 bells.
Everything you're shooting versus.
Come on, we'll get it done for you guys. That young man, let's see if he can take a pitch. That's very, very close.
What do you think, folks? Yeah, that one's outside. Not by much, but it was. He went right past Justin Upton, and the Padres are now 1-1.
Heath Bell locks it down. Chris Young was the story, though. He was fabulous. Again, a crafty right